Oh, okay. Hi. I wanted to make sure I'm in the right place. Yeah. Okay, thank you.
You want to sign in?
Okay, yes.
I said, we're Steve. So good at their job.
Is this your pencil?
Yes, please. It's okay. What's with this?
Oh boy.
We have a subdivision,
I did.
67
I did.
Neola.
Wait.
I, I,
That's the same.
On,
Single mom, she's having issues like
Yeah.
break, so.
which case?
He's Jack Caruso with me. Thank you. Name, mailing address, and then check the box always. Thank you.
Which mail? You have the 984?
Whatever, yeah, whatever, just.
PO box I can put?
I'm here for 321 Downey. I'm not the case number. I've had this for years.
I think we shouldn't even hear it.
No, it's optional. Well, you need it to do your case.
That's what I mean. So why listen and not remember the next
Because
time?
it's his call. That's the way I look at it. He's been around. He used to sit over there when he was on the board. He knows what he's doing. If he chooses not to, it's at his own peril. Oh well. Take a look at the ratings.
Good afternoon. This is the Board of Appeals, Town of Hempstead, September 10th, 2025, at 2 o'clock meeting. Madam Chair, do you have any opening remarks?
Sure. I know there's a number of you who have been here before. For those of you who have not been here, we call the calendar generally in the order in which the names appear. When your case is called, the applicant and any representative for the applicant will come up here, be sworn in, and give us the information, testimony about the case that he or she thinks we need to have. If you're here and you're not the applicant and there's a case that you're interested in, for starters, please make sure you're signed in on the case. That will allow us to know that you're here and you'd like to be heard, and/or that you will get a copy of the decision once it's rendered. After the applicant presents his or her case, anyone else who wishes to be here will be heard at the podium to my right. You'll be sworn in and be able to give any testimony that you wish to give related to the matter. If you have other evidence, such as photographs that you'd like the board to look at, we can't do that unless it is in a paper form or a form that we can put it like a USB, in a form that we can receive it and keep it in the file. Otherwise, we can't take your phone into evidence because we need to keep whatever we admit. In terms of admitting evidence, generally speaking, we sort of loosely apply the rules of evidence, but it just really boils down to whether or not something is reliable and whether or not we deem it relevant to the inquiry. So if anyone here who has not signed in, at your convenience, please make your way to the sign-in sheets or up here to the desk and let the folks here in the board know that you need to sign in. If there are any other questions, you can ask someone seated up here when it's appropriate, given the proceedings. I think that's it, Mr. Patrick.
Madam Chair, we have one case on for adjournment this afternoon. It's case 39525, near Valley Stream, Stephen Friedman. Variances height, lot area occupied, front yard average setback, side yards aggregate, rear yard, construct dwelling, demolish existing dwelling, also known as 739 Dumont Place.
Good afternoon, Madam Chairwoman. For the applicant, Thomas McKevitt, San Ward Brav Kashignano, 333 Earl Ovington Boulevard, Uniondale, New York, 11553.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. This matter was last on for July. We adjourned it for amended plans to be done. The plans have been done. Unfortunately, they were not be able to be filed in time for the plan examiner to review it to make sure there are any additional variances. I have an appointment with that plan examiner tomorrow at 9:15 a.m. Hopefully that will be done at that point. We'll be ready for a hearing. I was talking to the secretary about either November 12th or November 19th for a hearing date. Whatever convenient for the board, I'm more than ready to do.
Just quickly, is there anyone else here on this case? Okay. Patrick, what say you?
November 12th at 2 p.m.
Fine with me.
All right, Mr. Kevitt, you know, there's no one else here. I don't think you need a new notice, and I don't know if you have a sign, but do whatever you need to do.
Thank you very much.
You have another case with that name on it.
We will be calling case 48225, West Hempstead, Jennifer Watts. Variances, subdivision of lot area, maintained dwelling on a lesser lot, also known as 7 Ronkonkoma Avenue, as well as case 48325, West Hempstead, Kiskadee Properties Incorporated. Variances, subdivision of lot area, construct dwelling with garage, north side, Ronkonkoma Avenue, 325 feet west of Mayopoc Road. You swear or affirm to tell the truth, the truth, so help you God? Please take a seat and state your name and address for the record.
Good afternoon, Christian Brown, McLaughlin and Stern, 1122 Franklin Avenue, Garden City for the applicant.
Morning. Good afternoon, Mr. Brown.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Gaynor Bostwick, Kiskadee Properties, 752 Imperial Drive, Baldwin, New York.
Okay, try to speak up a little more even than that if you don't mind. She's got to take it all down too.
Okay.
All right, we are here today on what is a subdivision application on your calendar. In reality, this is sort of a renewal or a reinstatement, if you will. Mr. Bostwick and his wife, Jennifer Watts, who's on the caption, have been the owners of what was one piece of property, one parcel for about 20 years. In 2009, they came before this board seeking variance approval to subdivide the property into two 5,500 square foot lots with 55 foot of frontage on the street, each lot being shy of the 6,000 square foot minimum by 500 square feet. That application was approved under case 2010 of 2009. It's actually there's two cases, obviously, 2010 and 2011 of 2009. So it was a maintain the existing house, and then on the second parcel on Ronkonkoma Avenue, the proposal was to build one new single-family home. The board granted those approvals, and Mr. Bostwick proceeded to separate the lots through Nassau County legally, completed the subdivision.
In those prior cases, was it only subdivision and lot area on both?
That's it, yes. And that remains the case today. So he separated the lots legally. They have been in single and separate identities with new tax lot numbers, which are noted on the map. They are now tax lot 684 and 683 for, the last 15 years. If you recall, 2009, the financial crisis was ongoing at that point, and they elected not to improve the lot with the new house. All these years later, they're back and ready to now pull a permit to construct one new single-family home on the vacant 55 by 100 parcel. The other parcel, the existing house, which was just a maintain back then, and it's just a maintain now, that's not being touched. The proposed new home is a colonial-style home. It meets all area requirements for lot area and all the setbacks.
The only reason you're here is because they didn't do it in time?
Correct.
Keep going.
Correct. So it's been quite some time, so we're basically asking to reinstate the grant, even though the properties are already legally subdivided. As a condition of the reinstatement, we would accept all the prior conditions that the board imposed and all the usual subdivision conditions. I know Mr. Pellegrini is reviewing the plans right now. And to cut to the chase, we would agree to eliminate the outside basement entrance and the bathroom in the, there is a bathroom on the plans in the basement, and we would limit that bathroom to a half bath with a sink and a toilet. And then accept all the other usual conditions. The goal here is Mr. Gaynor would like to, Mr. Bostwick would like to build a home and sell it to an end user. And then his family will continue to own the existing maintained house.
Okay. There are a number of people who signed in who would also like to be heard on the matter who are not part of your presentation. Is there anything else you'd like to tell us right now?
Not unless you have any other questions.
Are there any other questions of the board right now?
Did you ask the board to incorporate the minutes of the previous hearings to this case?
I'm going to ask for that right now.
Thank you.
If
So moved.
grant me leave. Yes.
All right, if there are no further questions from the board at this time, what I'll do is I'll call in the order in which they signed in. I'll call folks. When I call your name, if you wish to be heard, you can. You don't have to. You will also get a copy of the decision once it's rendered. So I will start with Lorna Lightfoot, and I can't make out Lorna Lightfoot Whack or Wax? Where? I got the WA, but I couldn't see the rest. So you'll be sworn in. Adjust that microphone however you wish.
Yes.
Ask Brown one question.
My name is Lorna Lightfoot Ware. My address is 3 Maryland Avenue, Freeport, New York.
Okay, give me 1
Before you
second.
begin, Mr. Brown, are these plans different than the ones that were previously approved by the board?
Yes.
For the house.
They're different.
The interior.
The first one was a ranch.
Yes, the originally it was proposed as a ranch. Now it's proposed as a colonial style house.
Thank you.
Okay, all right. Ms. Lightfoot Ware, go ahead and tell us what you'd like us to know about this application.
Sure. So notably, my maiden name is Lightfoot. I'm here with my father and my sister, Leatrice Lightfoot, Jerome Lightfoot, and we are here to object to this for several reasons.
Can you pull that a little closer? Because it worked really well when it was closer to you. Just that when you speak into it, however it's suited, speak
Okay.
into it.
All right, that's fine. Is this better?
Yes.
Okay, great. So we came in and actually were heard in 2009. And now we are fast forwarding 16 years, I believe, since the matter first came up. At the time, we had objections to the way that the property was maintained. And now that we see that there are plans to do a second construction on the adjacent property, we have to object. So just so that it's clear to the panel, our property is directly adjacent to the property at issue. We have had ongoing issues with the maintenance of the property itself. It is not an owner-occupied property, and they have failed to do proper upkeep on the property such that it has become an eyesore in the community itself. I believe that.
Referring to the piece that has the house?
Yes.
Vacant piece?
Well, right now, there's no division, it's just one big property. So the piece or the lot that has the house is, further to the right. We're talking about the new construction, which would be directly adjacent to my childhood home. So I do want to add, by the way, that my father is a retired Nassau County Police Department. He served in the county for many years, retired as a detective sergeant in 1985, and went on to be chief of investigations for New York State, working directly with the governor's office, several administrations.
Will we be hearing from your father today?
My father is 95 years old, so I'm speaking on his behalf.
Okay, so well, thank you for your service, sir, from here. You got it. Okay.
So there are a couple of things I want to note. And one is that there is strong precedent in New York, and specifically in the town of Hempstead, where there is a denial of a zoning permit to construct additional homes in a residential area that do not conform to local zoning requirements or would impact the neighborhood character. Based on the property's upkeep right now, there is already an impact to the neighborhood character. If you go down this residential block, which was quite beautiful, certainly when I was growing up and even now, every single property is maintained, every single property is manicured, and there's clearly a home or family residence there. This particular property, on several occasions, has broken down play equipment, garbage strewn just around the entire, because if you remember, it's a larger lot. They've now subdivided it, but the garbage and various other things are strewn on the curb. It's an eyesore. Oh,
Ask you quickly to come up and approach, and I want you to point, I'm looking at the house on the
Oh.
Google, and I'd like to just make sure I've got the right house. You can come up, Mr. Brown, if you like. Come on up. Oh, sorry, I didn't see that.
I used to not have that.
That's when we have nightclub nights. We have the ropes. So this is what comes up on, is that correct, or? are we
yes,
talk-
so this is my property right here.
Gotcha.
The red house.
Okay, because it doesn't look in disrepair here, but these are one snapshot in time. It doesn't mean it always looks like
and I don't even
this.
see the fence that's there. It's a rusted, sort of broken
Okay.
fence, and I also don't see any of the other things that were typically in this yard.
Okay, and this isn't a photograph he submitted. This is Google Earth. So, again, it is a snapshot in time, but okay.
It doesn't, I do not believe it's representative of the snapshot right now.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. All right, Stephanie, you can just let the record reflect that the representative, Mr. Brown, for the applicant, and Ms. Lightfoot Weir both came up to confirm for the board that the photograph on Google Earth is in fact a photograph of the house that we're talking about and the property we're discussing now. Go ahead, Ms. Lightfoot.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Make sure I get it right.
So I'm talking about the manner and the upkeep of the property. It is actually pretty alarming to hear that there's now going to be construction on a new piece of property. And given the size of the lot and the fact that the lot is undersized, it is going to be extremely close to my father's home. As I stated before, my father is 95 years old. We've had transient tenants. We barely know them, barely see them. Quite frankly, I really don't know what's going on over there. But I can also tell you that part of the failure to upkeep the property is the fact that they have a dying apple tree on their property. It is right next to the fence that separates our property, and it is about to knock our fence down. Nothing has ever been done about this. And then, unfortunately, my mother, who's passed away several years ago, had planted azaleas, which we've maintained for years. They are all dead as a result of the fact that they're not maintaining this tree, nor have they taken any steps to take it down. So I believe that really the basis for what would typically be held as a denial are conditions that have been met here. Number one, doesn't meet the zoning requirements, and number two, there is an impact on the community. Further to this, I think that there are valid legal arguments for challenging this based on the structure's proximity and location to my father's current residence, which is the adjacent property, and the fact that the property owner has been negligent in the selection of the tenants and negligent in maintaining the property. Yes, well, they may be gone, I don't know, but historically, it's been renters that have come in and out. They put up playground equipment like a trampoline and other things. Children's toys are abandoned on the curb. I mean, it's really an eyesore and quite unconscionable. And then on a personal note, the fact that my father is 95 years old has earned the right to enjoy his property is very upsetting when we're talking about a construction crew and a second home in a lot that has not even been maintained, from what I can tell, the entire time that they've owned this lot, and certainly over the last 10 to 15 years.
Want to fully appreciate the issues, so we might address them,
Yep.
that that diminish your father's enjoyment of his property.
I can tell you loss of privacy, the increased noise.
Hold on. So loss of privacy, what part of the project, loss of privacy? The construction
My
activity?
father's home, and typically we have a front door and we have a side door. My entire life growing up until now, we keep the side door open. It's green, it's comfortable, our family goes in and out from there. Constructing another dwelling, and I have not seen the plans myself, 20 yards or so from our typical entrance is a lack of privacy.
How far, if you know, is your house from the property line it shares with the subject property?
Probably about 10 feet.
And then they propose as 10 feet more, so your 20.
That's not sufficient.
I understand. So your number of 20 would be seemingly accurate. Okay. So
Probably about that then.
Okay. So
Yes.
one issue is the proximity of the proposed structure,
Yep.
right?
The increased noise and ongoing activity from a construction crew.
Okay, that would be temporary, but, well, we note it.
Overall diminished enjoyment of the property. And I can tell you right now, and I hope that I'm able to convey it accurately. My dad, again, is 95 years old. That means that when my sister or I come to pick him up, we have parked on the curb where the curve, lowers. I have usually helped him out of the car. I leave my bag in the car, or I used to, just to be able to get him situated safely and solidly on the curb so that I can move the car and then help him in the home. That option has not been available for a number of years because, quite frankly, I don't feel safe in doing so. We do not know the people next door, cannot identify them typically, and they've been changed in an ongoing manner. In addition to, there is a difference between an owner-occupied property and transient tenants.
Yes, you're correct about that.
So, and as well, I think, but I already mentioned, the building sits very close to my father's residence and does meaningfully impact their living conditions. He's in the twilight right now. He wants to enjoy it, and he wants to enjoy it peaceably and quietly. And I do have concerns about, and additionally, I do have concerns about new construction when I haven't seen any degree of responsibility in terms of even maintaining the current property and the number of tenants that are coming in and out of that property. I think that there's also, again, my father's property is in the zone of interest, which and the zoning statute, I think it's Article 78 proceeding, would provide that property owners may challenge permits to protect their interest in quiet use and enjoyment. And so that really is basically sum and total. I'm happy to answer any questions you have, and I'm happy to come back with additional information if needed.
No, I'm just want to understand how any of the issues you raise could potentially be mitigated. I see that it's a 10-foot setback on that side of the proposed structure, 10 on the other side. I mean, it would be easy to scoot it 5 more feet away, which would help. The owner-occupied issue may be able to be addressed, which I think is a big part of the issue, having renters. I understand. I think let's hear from the rest of the folks and see if there's any way we can address issues.
I think that the main concern, I don't know if it's 20 feet, I don't know if it's 50 feet. What I do know is that it's close. What I also know is that nothing about this property has been responsibly maintained for a very long time. We came and objected, several years ago, 2009, 2010, still awarded. It is now 16 years later. In that 16 years, we are not guessing how the property will be handled or maintained. We actually know how the property has been maintained, and it has not been maintained. It is not consistent with the rest of the neighborhood. There may be a family there for all I know, or for all that we know, but visibly from the outside, from the curb, if you're looking at curb appeal, this is substantially reducing the value of our property in the event that my father wanted to sell the property while that current structure and the current condition remains. And I don't know, and I can't guess what the new property is going to look like. I can only base this opinion and our objection on the precedent that we are relying on now, which is previous behavior.
So in the past, when we've had situations like this in communities that are really, really nice-looking neighborhoods in Nassau County and the town of Hempstead, oftentimes, and I'm saying this because I'm looking at the Google Earth, oftentimes the newer homes do really spruce up the neighborhood. And I see a few here on your street. I can't say what the addresses are because I'm panning. But we've had that recently around here, and I would invite you actually.
I'm
Once you're
familiar
done
with the new
speaking-
homes, and yes, those are. But I'm talking about the property owned by, I forget his Mr.
You don't have a lot of faith in this. Okay.
I do not, and they are substantially different from the newer properties that are on the block. There's a rusted fence. There's been garbage strewn on the curb. We have a tree that is about to fall on our fence. We're going to be back in front of some court or administration to talk about that when that damage is done. Nothing is done to maintain the property, and that is the overriding concern.
Okay, so those issues may also be able to be addressed, but what I would like to do is, now that you're finished, I'd like to let the other folks who are here to speak. And this is our file copy of the plans, but if you'd like to take these and look through the proposed house that you mentioned you hadn't had a chance to see, what the proposed house looks like, at least that gives you a chance to look at what it is.
I do appreciate that. However, I would actually like to speak with someone who's familiar with judging or evaluating proposals before I would say, oh, well, that looks great to me, because I'm not a subject matter expert
Yeah,
here.
well, separate from analyzing it, I just wanted you to see, it's a two-story house or whatever it is. I just wanted you to be able to see what the house is proposed to look like. Then if you would like to, we may be able to give you a chance to speak with someone who's more.
That would be great. And I just want to point out that had I looked at the plans 16 years ago and said, oh, that looks perfectly fine, that was never built. So I can look at this, and it may in fact mean very little if that's not what they're building, or they're not building anything.
Oh, well, if they were approved, this is what they'd have to build, but you don't have to look at it. I just wanted.
No, I do want to see it. What I'm
Okay.
saying is that
So-
it's not going to change what I'm saying right
We just have to get it back because it's our official copy.
Sorry.
Okay, hold on. Joe, do we have another copy? We often don't, to be honest, but she can just look at it right over here. Since it's our only copy, but you can, is there a table in the backs, Patrick? Christine, is there still a table around that corner or no? That she could spread it out on to look at? Hey, Rebecca, if she had a question or two, would you be willing to? All right.
See if you get a minute to just.
Hold on. Listen, one of our most senior plans examiners is here, Miss First. She's willing to answer a few questions for you if you'd like. There's a table out behind, right out there. I believe.
No, he
Still a
just told me.
table
I'm
you can
going to go
spread
look.
it out on, if you'd like. So, and this is Miss First, if you'd like.
Okay.
So let's hear from you.
Mrs. Lightfoot, just if I may, this is Rebecca First. She's a senior plans examiner with Department of Buildings. I know Ms. Tomato just said that.
That's okay.
She just showed me a document showing the tree conservation plan. And those trees which are to remain, and those trees which are
To be
slated
removed.
to remove if the application is granted.
Well, thank you. I am happy to know that it may or may not be resolved. I haven't seen what trees have been identified. This has been going on for a number of years. It's constant, and my mother's azaleas have already died.
So we're going to move to the next person who wishes to be heard. The next person who's signed in may or may not wish to be heard. That's Latrice Lightfoot.
Yes. Leatrice Lightfoot, 182 Moore Avenue, Freeport, New York.
Good afternoon.
11520. Good afternoon. I just want my sister eloquently establish what we have been dealing with. I have made multiple phone calls to the town of Hempstead to address the property and the maintenance. I knocked on the tenant's door. I spoke with them and I received the telephone number for the owner of the property. I called 3 times, left messages, none were responded to.
And which of the issues were you predominantly concerned
The
with?
tree, the maintenance of the property. At one point in time, there was not even a lawnmower. There were there was no spring cleanup, fall cleanup. It was just knee-high weeds all year round. So I have called the town of Hempstead. I was told, oh, you have to, it's a civilian matter. You have to speak directly to the owner. So we tried to make the steps to speak to the owner. He disregarded all phone calls, and the tenant who has been there, I don't know how many years, she said she would relay the message as well. So I don't know what our goal is, if it's to put another house there to make the neighborhood pop and make everyone happy. That's not going to happen if he is not reliable in maintaining the property he currently has. There's barbecue. It's just, and it's hard to look at, and it's even harder to synthesize that I grew up in this neighborhood, and there was pride. Every owner of the properties on that block had pride in the appearance of their homes. We helped each other put our garbage out, put the garbage pails in, help someone shovel, and it's just almost it brings a certain sadness that I can't go now, knock on their door and say, hey, anything, because he's not there. So I want to now put up another house, and I'm not even maintaining what I have. It's negligible, and it's not right to us that have been suffering looking at this now dilapidated property. The house was pristine prior to him owning the house. Pristine. The apple tree actually had apples that you could eat. Now it's weeds and it's so fungus that's what killed all the azaleas and anything that borders the whole side of that property line. So I don't know. It sounds as if you already have this, like it was approved. I remember coming to court with my dad back in 2009, and I'm almost positive it wasn't. If it was approved, we never got a letter saying that addressing that it's been approved. And if there was a housing crisis, if he didn't have money, if they didn't have money, none of that was addressed. And now all of a sudden in 2025, when we're at like no Bank of America is giving out a loan, how are we now going to have another suitable tenant, or else we're going to put another Section 8 person in there? Nothing's wrong with Section 8. But if we're not maintaining what we have now, it's just going to be 2 pieces of hot garbage as opposed to just 1.
I understand.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And let's see. The next person signed in is Jerome Lightfoot. Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you. Let's see. I guess, okay, I think that's the only folks who signed in on the case who wish to be heard other than the applicant and the applicant's representative. So, Mr. Brown, first of all, would you like to address?
Yes, just briefly. Again, to the extent that there's been dissatisfaction with the state of the vacant lot, that will go away, I think, because we're going to build a new home, and that home will be sold to an owner-occupied end user. We will accept that condition. The apple tree and dilapidated fencing will be removed. There'll be new legal fencing put between the subject property and the Lightfoot home. So that should alleviate any of those concerns. The rental property, I think Mr. Bostwick disputes the characterization of how it is maintained. It is a rental house. He's owned it for 20 years, so this is not something new in the neighborhood. And just for the information of everyone, including the neighbor, it's his intention to sell that house as well. He's planning to retire, so after, hopefully with your approval, the new house is constructed, it will be sold to an end user. He's also planning to sell the current rental house.
Okay, so a couple things. Earlier, you had mentioned that the plans for the construct today are not the plans that were approved, whatever, 16 years ago. So it is the site plan, plot plan that we're looking at accurate as to the footprint?
Yes, it is.
Okay, that's
This is it's just a different design. The original house also did not need area variances, and neither does this house.
okay.
And as I said, we will eliminate the basement entrance. We will accept the usual conditions. We will have only a half bath in the basement.
What about owner occupied on the maintain?
If he would agree to that on
You want to
sale,
speak to him?
yeah, I would. When you sell.
Does they face the house? Yeah, of course. I won't be selling any entity.
Unless he's asking if he were to sell it to an entity, but I don't want to
mean,
put,
if he sold-
your intention is to sell it to a
End user again.
End user.
Again.
So he'll agree, is
On the maintain also?
on the maintain, on sale, yes.
Okay, on sale. Do we think that's going to be anytime soon?
I believe it's his plan to exit the property after this house is constructed, is that right?
Of course, because the tenant already has notice to leave. That's in the process of kind of
And you're,
probably here some like around November, maybe November.
Okay.
and you're planning to sell it when this tenant leaves?
Yes.
Okay, so to the Lightfoot family, to the extent you want to know what we're talking about, the property owner has, I think you can, no, it's no question. He's just indicated that they would be willing to accept as a condition of this proposal, if it were approved, to have a condition on the properties that run with the land, meaning forever, that the new home be occupied by the owner occupied, and that the previously rental home, the one they wish to maintain that is there now, which has a tenant in it now, a tenant who's already been given notice that he or she needs to vacate the premises, that once that tenant leaves, it will be sold to someone who will also be the owner, and it will carry the same condition that it must be owner occupied for the duration of his existence. If you could tell usage to that, and if you have any,
Yeah,
Okay.
Mike.
that's okay. Say it again. No, use the microphone, hon. Oh, I couldn't. I wasn't even looking at it. Come on, use the microphone. She's like, there's not one.
Thank you. Mr. Bostic made a statement, or through his a spokesperson, that he does not agree with how the house is maintained. I would like for him to provide what what is his stance? Because he's never, for owner occupied, and he made the, when we first came in, it sounded like he owned and stayed and maintained that property.
It did sound to me like he lived there
Yes,
also. But
so because I'm a person who wants everyone to win. I want, if this is his way of making a living, is to have a house and to have a Section 8 property, how do we know that the next owner occupied can now turn around and say, we're going to rent it out to Section 8? No one, is there a law in Nassau County, town of Hempstead, or New York that says once we buy a house and we're saying it's owner occupied, that we can't turn around and make it a Section 8 property?
the way that we were discussing it, It would be the situation that they would draft a covenant that would be filed with the clerk of the court and would be part of the deed, so to speak. It would run with the property. So it would govern the property for the rest of time. And
Right.
so anyone who bought it would still be subject to that covenant that they have to live there. It cannot be made into a rental. And that would be both homes.
Okay. Well, again, I don't know Mr. Bostic, and as I said, I understand everyone has to have a way of maintaining a lifestyle. But if he allowed, and even though, despite the people are leaving in November, allegedly, if this was tolerated for 15 years, and I've never seen Mr. Bostic, and I'm there frequently. I have never seen him, and most recently, in recent days, we've had lawn cutting.
Yeah, well, whatever was in the past, the agreements that we're talking about here, if it were to be granted,
Understood.
are that the two new owners of the homes would be required to occupy them. And if they don't do so, they have to sell them. They cannot be rentals if they are a covenant that runs with the land. So that's what
my
he's
fear, is that,
offering.
He might, the person who's owner occupied might sell it to someone who now doesn't have the same stipulation that the previous.
It runs with the land. It's on the
It's on the
title.
land for the life of the land. Of that
Doesn't
dwelling.
change with the
Okay.
sale.
Okay.
Okay,
Thank you so much for
you're
clarifying.
welcome. Okay, Mr. Brown, is there
Yeah,
anything else?
that's all, and I think in terms of enforcement, we seem to have vigilant neighbors, so I'm sure they will inform the town if they believe that someone is renting the house in violation of the covenant. So with that, we'd ask you to reinstate the grant, allow the second house to be built with the conditions that we have put on the record.
Yeah, we'll have to figure out, would we actually reinstate it or would we need to grant it because of the different house?
Correct, I'm using it
Okay,
colloquially.
you got it.
Yes.
Okay, I understand. All right, go ahead.
When was this taken? It was submitted today. Okay.
Do you know when the photo was taken?
I mean, if I go there today, is that what this looks like?
Yes, of course, but that was probably taken 2 or 3 months ago, along the process of me doing the application.
And that's what, if I leave here and go to West Hempstead, is this, am
Exactly.
I going to see this?
The only difference you see now is the notice now, that's the
Yeah.
difference we see. So we have two photographs. One which is like 3 months ago, and another photograph which was done more recently showing the posting of the
Okay, one
hearing.
of our board members just said she was there yesterday, and
Okay.
it does look like this. Okay.
Okay.
The other thing was, you said the fence,
The
a new fence would be put
Correct.
between the homeowners that are here and the
Correct.
property.
We will put
How
a-
about on the east side?
Are you planning?
Yeah.
The east side looks as if it's the fence that is crumbled and breaking down. So you'll put a new fence there also?
Yeah, we'll fully fence the property with the legal fencing
Okay,
around
thank
in the side and rear yards.
Okay, thanks.
Papers, girl. Hello.
I think Mr. Plumer had a.
Mr. Brown,
Yes.
I just have one comment.
Sure.
In the interest, however we decide this, and we'll decide it soon, can your client give us his word that until he starts, if he gets the approval, that he'll go over there, or have somebody go there and take care of the property on a weekly basis, so we don't have to have people this unhappy about living next door? I mean, in other words, make sure the garbage is taken out, make sure the grass is cut, make sure whatever their issues are, that we have sensitivity to it. So, if you're selling the property anyway, why not everybody try to get along in the interim,
I have a landscaper that weeds every week, for example.
No, but it's let's be practical.
course,
It's
of course I'll
obviously
do that,
not
sir.
enough. They're not happy. Can you please try to do better? That's all I'm asking.
Sure.
You listen to these people, and I don't think they're making it up, so please, thank you.
Yes, we will do that.
Okay, there are no further questions from the board. Do I have a motion?
I move the hearing be closed, the case placed on the decision calendar. When the board renders its decision, you will be all notified. That's signed in.
You will all
Thank
get
you
a
very
copy
much.
in the mail.
Thank you very much.
All in
Thank you for
favor?
your time.
Thank you.
Don't forget to get the original.
Becky's with that person.
Okay. Just need to make sure Becky knows we need that plans back. Oh, so we have ours, okay.
And I think we should get Becky back before we
Let's take a
continue.
break now. No, mister.
You never hear when I'm here anyhow.
Is that HEAR?
All right, Patrick, go ahead. No, we can call, as long as we know we're getting that copy back.
Next, we have case 48425 Uniondale, Verde Land Homes Incorporated. Variances, subdivision of lot area, construct dwelling with garage on a lesser lot, parcel A, southwest corner of Nostrand Avenue and New Street. Also, we have case 48525 Uniondale, Simon Romero. Variances, subdivision of lot area, front width from and on street line to front setback line, front yard average setback, maintained dwelling and detached garage on lesser lot, parcel B, also known as 800 Nostrand Avenue. You swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Please take a seat and state your name and address for the record.
Yes, for the applicant, Robert W. O'Brien, 877 North Corona Avenue, North Valley Stream, New York.
It's Barry Nelson, 220 Pettit Avenue, Belmore, New York, 11710. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Chair and members of the board. At this hearing, I'm representing the applicants, Simon Romero and Verde Land Homes, with respect to a two-lot subdivision in the hamlet of Uniondale. At the outset, I'd like to move to have the two cases consolidated and heard as one. As noted, to my right is real estate expert Barry Nelson, who is prepared to testify regarding the nature and character of the area and that the benefits of his application to the applicants outweigh any detriment to the surrounding community. Also present here is behind us somewhere is Steve Laverde, the principal of Verde Land Homes, and I know Mr. Romero, who's the owner of the property. Verde Land is the contract vendee if this is, and will become the owner if this is approved. But Mr. Romero is here also. The property that is the subject of the application is at the southwest corner of Nostrand Avenue and New Street in the hamlet of Uniondale. It has a street address, I believe, of 800 Nostrand Avenue and is, for the record, known on the Nassau County tax map as Section 50, Block 394 and Lot 89. Parcel is irregularly shaped, roughly 100 feet of frontage on Nostrand, 80 feet of frontage on New Street, and total lot area just short of 9,000 square feet. There is currently a one-family dwelling with a detached garage on the southerly portion of the property that Mr. Romero seeks to remain under case number 485 of 25. And Verde Land Homes proposes constructing a new one-family dwelling with attached garage on the northerly portion of the premises under 484 of 25. In the case for 484-25, the proposed parcel, new family dwelling with attached garage, it will total a parcel of 4,909.6 square feet. The only variances needed to construct that proposed new dwelling with attached garage are for subdivision of the existing lot and lot area. Under the maintained 485, Mr. Romero is requesting permission to maintain that existing one-family dwelling and detached garage on the southerly portion, which has about 4,026 square feet with 43.24 feet of frontage on Nostrand. That means that the variances are needed for subdivision of lot area, front width from and on street line to the front setback line, and front yard average setback. And that average setback exists right now, so you're not asking for a new variance or talking about any new construction.
What was the front width on the first one? The new construct?
On the variance, on the construct,
The lot,
subdivision of existing lot and lot area.
lot width.
Not on the new construct.
No, but what is it? I'm just,
What is the lot width on the new lot? I know.
It's a corner lot, so
oh, it's 5850.
on the Nostrand, it's 58.5, and on New Street, it's 80 feet.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. If the board is inclined to grant the application, both of the applicants, both for the construct, which is normal here, but also Mr. Romero has indicated on the maintain, he will also accept all of the usual and customary conditions. Both will accept the condition that the property be owner occupied. As you know, the house as it exists has no such restriction right now, but he will agree to as part of the grant. Although Mr. Nelson will go into depth about the nature and character of the area, as my practice, as the board knows, I went out and did my own physical inspection of the area. It's the only oversized parcel in the 200-foot radius that can be reasonably subdivided. The large, currently vacant portion of the premises at the corner that we're talking about, Mr. Vertiland, not Mr. Vertiland, Vertiland developing. It's sort of funny. Part of zoning, I think, is you don't want to approve something that stands out like a sore thumb. If you went down a street and you saw a bunch of conforming 60-foot frontages, and all of a sudden you saw a 40, that would stand out like a sore thumb. What stands out like a sore thumb, if the board, I know the board likes to visit areas a lot of times and do their own inspection. What stands out is this large vacant lot on the corner. So it almost looks like, or to use another comparison, almost looks like a jigsaw puzzle with a piece missing, and the house would fill in that square or void. The proposed new dwelling would be in line with the frontages of the other existing homes on the street. It would fit in, sometimes what is worse than two homes? I really shouldn't say worse. What could be a problem as opposed to two homes would be one mega mansion. I'm sure the board hears about that and sees it when you drive through a town or other areas of the county. And I find it particularly to exist on corner lots where someone has an oversized property and they build these homes that look like hotels. And I'd like to say they block out the sun, but they really don't fit in the nature, particularly an older area like older established area like Uniondale, where
43.
The houses around are usually modest homes, capes, colonials, and the like. Other than that, I have some other comments I'll make at the end, but I'll turn it over to Mr. Nelson if it's okay with the board now, and then we'll address a couple of other things. Okay?
Mr. Nelson, since the last time you testified before this board on valuation of real estate, have there been any changes to your credentials?
No, Chairman.
Okay, so
I have renewed my real estate appraisal license, so that might be a positive.
How long it had been expired?
No, it's not expired yet. Next month.
All right, so for purposes of this hearing, you can give testimony, expert testimony on your opinions as it relates to real estate valuation, and related matters.
Thank you. I'm going to have council hand in my exhibits. They will include photographs of the subject property and surrounding area. They include comparable sales and aerial views for the subject property. Council's gone over the case substantially, what's before the board for the subdivision, the area variances. Generally, it's a residential area, single families. It's north of the Southern State Parkway. It's in proximity to Uniondale Avenue. It's south of Front Street. The application the portion of the property for the new house is slightly unique than traditionally that comes before this board. It's a corner parcel, but if you look at my photographs, has been maintained on the smaller lot. In fact, it's been fenced in the rear yard, and it's been like that for many years. As Councilor was trying to allude to, the corner property, it's almost out of possession to the maintain, and it lends itself to this type of application for a new modest colonial. Colonials are in demand. Single-family houses are for sale are very limited. In fact, research on the MLS will indicate there's only approximately 16 homes for sale in the entire area of Uniondale. The crux of this application would be for lot area, front width for the maintain. The area split zoned, not the subject property, but just on the easterly side of Nostrand Avenue and just south of Planders Avenue is a residential A zone. So you would find that on the easterly side, those houses with the 50-foot frontages, they would be non-conforming to the residential A zone where it's 60-foot required. The subject property is entirely in a B zone. The homes in the area are Cape Cods, colonials, some ranches, and split levels. Proposed is to maintain the existing house on the interior lot and a new colonial with a internal garage and driveway for adequate off-street parking. Values in the area are appreciating, and generally they run between $450,000, and newer constructed homes, colonials, upward of almost $900,000. As far as this application, Council mentioned the area is almost 100% developed. The uniqueness is that the vacant portion of the corner hasn't been utilized. It's maintained as far as cutting the grass, but otherwise lends itself for a colonial style house. I tried to find other subdivisions in the area of Uniondale, and the board knows I've been practicing this for many years. Going back in Uniondale, in the entire area, there's only been maybe a dozen subdivisions over the last 25 years for new construction. I came up with two of them, and I'm going to hand in decisions. The first one would be case 774 and 775, and it was in 2013 by Nassau Land Developers, and it was a subdivision for 240 by 100s, and 40 by 100s, 4,000 square feet, just slightly out of the area, but they were developed and it became part of the character of the neighborhood. The second one would be by New York Land Development 2 Corp., and this is a unique parcel in that it was an approved parcel for a 25 by 100 new colonial. 25 by 100 may stand out to this board. How could we ever approve something like that? And just for that fact, I attached the radius map, and on the south side of Southern Parkway, between Fullerton and Davis Avenue, there are all 25 by 100 lots, all improved, and this one came before the board for approval and was approved and became part of the community.
When was that?
This was under case 72 in 2022, and counsel was the attorney on the application. It's a colonial house. This property is not too far from the subject property. It's outside the radius. It's just west of Uniondale Avenue, but it's part of Uniondale, part of the character of the neighborhood, I would say. And it is a 25 by 100, where there's at least another half a dozen or more 25 by 100 parcels in that area.
What are you giving us on that? Just the decision, or do we have a map?
I have the map and the location map as well.
Okay. Did you have more stuff you want to admit? Or?
No, just the two.
Okay, so we'll accept those into evidence.
Just for the board. So based on my findings, the uniqueness of the subject property, it's my opinion that it's a reasonable request for a modest colonial where new dwellings are in demand and tend to appreciate property values in this area. The benefit to the applicant and the owner is monetary, new construction. The house on the whole would be worth approximately $500,000. On the reduced, about $450,000. And a building lot, as the applicant is selling that property for monetary purposes, would be $225,000. The new colonial, it has gross building area less than about 1,900 square feet, would be worth approximately $750,000. That said, the benefit to the applicant, which would be the seller and the developer, would be approximately $300,000 gross. That would be for taxes and commissions that would be sold. That weighed against the detriment to the surrounding community. You have all municipal services. You have asphalt paved road, concrete sidewalks and curb, and a new home, in my opinion, would fit well within this area.
How about,
Yes, sir.
yes, thank you. How about 250s?
Well, if you look at it, the setbacks doesn't lend itself to 250s.
You could reduce the size of the house.
The side yard setback on the north side, you would need additional variances. Let me see. Actually, that would reduce the size of the maintain slightly smaller, where we have the greater area in the new construct, 4,900 square feet, and the maintain would be on 4,026 square feet.
Well, that's what is proposed at now.
No, if you made 250, wait. Are you-
No, the way I'm looking at the radius map, Ms. Pellegrini, is the corner property where we're looking to do the construct, the side yard setback, which is, I guess, because it's a corner, would also be considered a rear yard, because of the fact that it'll border the existing house. That's only a few feet as it exists right now, and to move it much forward, you'd start going forward of the houses that are already there on New Street.
Yeah, but no.
You want to make, I'm sorry, I had that reversed.
Yeah,
I think. I'm sorry, you want to make
Let me do it for both of you.
yes, I get it.
Reduce the size of the proposed house so
Correct.
that it would fit on a 50 and 50 lot.
Well, we'd have to, and then you'd want to give the, maintain slightly more area. I got it. You have the, right.
Yeah, it
I
might
had it
need a front
reversed.
yard variance.
Yeah,
You
you
have
got
the-
to
The size
I
of
had
the
it
house.
reversed.
Yeah, because we're only talking about.
No, I was.
You want to
Backwards.
consult? You want to take a half an
Yeah.
hour break and consult, and we'll take the next
I have the
case?
next three cases.
May I just ask
We
you,
don't need you.
Nelson Day here at
Oh,
yeah.
good for you.
You keep making your presentation.
No, I'm done.
okay, I have a
Oh, good.
question too.
Because I think I think there's at least one person signed up to speak. You have the list, Chair.
Yeah.
Okay.
1 second, Mr. Nelson. So Mr. O'Brien mentioned that there weren't really any others in the neighborhood that this would have precedential impact on in terms of future properties that might wish to do the same. Now, the smaller one, and this is kind of related to whether or not that changes, but the smaller width is the 43.24. There are two lots that are 80 by 100, just a property away, both of which have the structures, appear at least on the radius map, to have their structures just on one half of the property. So are those properties that either have structures not shown here?
I've made a misrepresentation.
No, my question is, are those properties not shown here? And I mean, because those look like properties that this same builder would be interested in if in fact, because those would come with 240 by 100s, right? It's a lot,
Appears to be, you're correct.
65 and 64 and 63 and 62.
Correct.
I missed the one across the street.
No, she's talking about this one and this one.
But the house,
But again, they would be slightly smaller because they'd be 240s, 440s total. And this smaller one here is 43, but
Which would make sense why
yeah,
Mr.
but,
Pellegrini would say 250, so that would be
right,
a little bit more
right.
restrictive.
But your client, that you know of, your client doesn't have any, doesn't have an agreement as it relates to either one of these to do the same. I mean, I know that's his business, so. Oh, we'll take, Mr.
I'm speaking, Mr. Laverty, just so I cover it with you. The general house that that is presented here is usually about 2,400 square feet. He's building he's proposing much more modest house of 1,500 square foot, as
Joe, he's answering.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, Mr. Pellegrini. I'm
No,
sorry.
you-
If you need me to repeat it, I know.
Would you please repeat it?
Yes. Generally, when Mr. Laverty is before the board, he's looking to build a house of about 2,400 square feet. The one he's proposing now is a much more modest house of only 1,500 square feet. That's
Which makes it even more,
1,500
more
square feet.
able to, instead of being on a 58-foot lot, it could be on it's easier to put that on a 50-foot lot than the larger house.
If I may, as I said, I think there may be a person or two who wants to speak. Can we allow them to speak?
I
And
see.
then come back to me? Is that fair?
Sure.
I
I'd
understand.
be happy.
So,
Well, they're not gonna get 250s.
Mr. O'Brien, are you finished for now, and you want me to go ahead and,
If you would, and then
Okay.
I'll come back. And
We have to-
okay. So,
No, not the next case. If you,
no, the other folks.
that's perfect. 'Cause I said I believe
Unfortunately,
somebody,
okay, unfortunately, there are two people have signed in but did not indicate.
if I may,
We're not done yet.
I'm going to contradict myself for one more time, which is not unusual for me, as the board knows. One of the things that we did, and everything was downloaded onto the town website, is Mr. Laverty went door to door over there and we prefer not to use petitions because, as the board knows, if you have people going around petitions, not only will they sign the one in favor, they'll sign the one against because it's a neighbor and they don't like to say no. So these are all individualized consents, which have the actual, and I'll share the form with the board.
Notice.
Which has exactly what the variances being requested are. And I believe, did you look up the radius map?
Hold on, can
Mr.
you just,
Nelson?
can you finish describing it so we just properly admit it?
Not a problem. It is a consent from people in the neighborhood. He went door to door, and individual homeowners signed these consents. They're numerous, almost, I don't want to, it's not everybody in the neighborhood, but it's most of the people in the neighborhood who are consenting to development as proposed.
Okay, hold on. Can we just have Mr. Laverty say that Mr. Laverty, can you just come?
And by the way, he hasn't been sworn in, so.
I know.
So let him.
Patrick, can you just swear him in and then you give your name and address, Mr. Laverty, just so I can deal with this piece of evidence?
Okay. Steve.
This will be quick. Go ahead, Mr. Laverty. State your name and address for the record, please.
Laverty, 1374 Fox Street, Elmont, New York. Myself and Mr. Simon Romero, the owner of the house next door,
Okay.
multiple days.
Okay, so to the extent that you procured signatures, Mr. Laverty,
Yes,
you saw the individuals sign these petitions and you know them to be the people they signed as?
yes.
Okay, that's all I need from you.
You want to hand,
Uh,
you want me to hand this one?
And
Right. And
I don't need them all. I just want to be able to have a sufficient basis to admit them. That's all I need from Mr. Laverty.
so just put over it, just mark it around. And yes, agreed.
Yeah, it doesn't ring.
Here.
Right, so we'll accept those into evidence. Thank you, Mr. Laverty.
And if I may, just because I know it's going to be brought up, on adjacent on New Street, I think she may be here to speak on her own behalf. It's the house adjacent. Hopefully I pronounce her last name right, is Bogues. She has a daycare center operating there, and Ms. Laverty has agreed. Well, the town requires him, but he's agreed to have the construction fence there all times during the construction. And when that's done, he is, at his own cost and expense, will put up a new 6-foot PVC fence to her approval.
To the front of his house.
Whatever she needs to for a house there, he's willing to pay for out of his own pocket.
Okay, but if it goes forward, then you need relief.
I know you need other variances. We want to be a good neighbor. And he is.
Understood.
He's more, as he's shown a history of, I think, before this board. He wants to continue to be that way.
Understood. Thank you, Mr. Liberti. Okay, so now I have two people, one of whom you just named, and a Mr. Simon Romero, both of whom signed in but didn't indicate whether or not they wish to
Romero
speak.
is our co-applicant.
Okay, because they didn't check boxes, that's the problem. Okay, so the only person who signed in and the only other person is Janice Bogues. I hope I've pronounced it properly. Ms. Bogues, you want to come up here to this podium? Mr. Owens will swear you in, and then we can hear from you as to what you wish to tell us about this application.
Right, you need front yard setbacks.
She can come up, he or she can come up too. No problem.
42.5. So you'd have to move the 7 and.
That's perfectly fine. What is the gentleman's name? What's JJ? Thank you for coming, JJ.
I can't compete with JJ. I already know I'm behind.
It's cute.
The whole truth.
She's going to need that
Janice
microphone down.
Bogues.
You know, because we wouldn't.
I reside at, and the owner of 874 New Street,
Thank you, Patrick.
adjacent to.
We see where you are on the radius map. Tell us what we need to know about this application.
Okay, I'm a little confused. I'm gonna
Okay,
be honest. I know I have Mr. Simon has
okay,
approached me and he brought the contractor to my house and we spoke. However, I'm still not sure what's going on because this is very new to me.
okay. In a nutshell, what they would like to do is in that vacant lot next to the house, the corner lot, it's large enough to put another home there. They would like to put a new home there, and they would like to sell it to someone with a condition that that person occupy the home, that it not be a rental unit. Likewise, the maintained unit will also be owner occupied, right, Mr. O'Brien? The maintained owner occupied also.
Well, what we're proposing is whoever buys Mr. Romero's house as it exists today, and whoever buys the new house to be constructed, if the board approves it, it will have to be owner occupied. It won't be a rental property. You heard people probably, if you were here earlier, talk about rental properties and those problems. We're willing to put a covenant that can be enforced on the deed that says the person who buys it must live in it.
Okay, all right. I was under I'm sorry.
This will show you the proposed plan and where the homes would be. You'll see that one is already there.
Oh, yes.
He'd like to sit down. Oh, okay.
Okay, yeah, it's gonna be tough.
Just stay with me. I'm sorry.
Because I'm looking at it.
Well, it's a corner lot, so you need 25 foot.
Okay, I have some concerns. First of all, Mr. Simon Romero, he's the sole owner of the property?
Correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. O'Brien. Romero?
Subject to the board approving.
Yes, he owns it now, and if this gets approved, a house will be built there, and as we said, whoever buys that house will occupy that home
Okay,
as an owner.
all right, because Mr. Romero told me that he was gonna occupy it, right? Am I wrong or right? That you were gonna occupy the home.
To maintain.
I can't understand.
And he hasn't been sworn.
I know.
No, that is.
Mr. O'Brien,
Yes, ma'am.
she's confused because apparently she thought Mr. Romero said he would be occupying the home, and I can't hear what he's saying. He's not sworn in. Can you just clarify this?
My understanding is this. The house that is currently occupied by Mr. Romero, he will continue to occupy. The house that my client.
The new house.
New house will be sold on the market, and whoever buys that house cannot rent that property. They'll be required to live in that property.
So it seems like, yes,
Generally, as the board knows, someone who buys a new house, first of all, it costs a lot of money. And second of all, they tend to maintain those homes
Right.
because it costs them a lot of money.
right. So yes, Mr. Romero will be residing for some period of time in the house that exists right now. The new person will buy and own the new house if approved.
Okay, the existing house that's on the property now?
Yes. What about it?
Okay, that's a rental.
Yeah, Mr. Romero, you live in the new house? I mean, the old house?
I'm sorry.
No, that's a
He's
rental.
willing to make that as a. My understanding is, again, I'm being corrected again, my understanding was he lived in the house. No, he's going to sell that house, he now tells me, but he's willing to require a condition, he'll impose a condition, a covenant, that whoever buys that house from him has to live in it.
All right. So the house is going to be sold, as
My
Mr.
apologies
O'Brien
for that.
indicated, and whoever buys it will have to also live in it. Both homes will have to be occupied by whomever owns them.
Because right now that the existing house
Is a rental.
is a rental.
Okay.
Okay.
And, and in the last couple of years, it's been 2 years, I think, that the new tenants have moved in, which I have no complaints about them. Previous tenants, yes.
Okay, well, it seems like this will
Right.
address
So
those issues.
right, it's going in the right direction as far
Yes.
as that's concerned. My concern is I have a business, a daycare center. And I have questions. I was worried about the setback requirements. And I know that you mentioned about that. I didn't know what setback what that was all
Right,
about. I
right.
did my research and I need to know what are the required setbacks for the property.
Well,
And I need assurance that the new house comply with them.
so the proposed new house, the new house, the only variances the new house needs is for the size of the lot. It's slightly smaller than would be required. It otherwise will meet all setbacks for the rear yard, the front yard, the side yard. It will be 25 feet in what is its rear yard. Your property goes up against the rear yard.
Yes.
It will be from the property line, it will be 25 feet away. And then, of course, your house is away from the property line too. So 25 feet plus whatever you have between your house and your property line will be there. There's no variances.
Good.
Oh boy, he's crying.
Okay, thank you. Also, I would like to know if there will be a certified property survey provided to verify the boundaries.
Certified, a survey
A
of the
survey.
current property or once the property's completed, if it's approved.
The current.
Is that in our file, Mr. O'Brien?
We will need surveys in order to, first of all, to get the building permit. That being said, we've submitted surveys to the board as part of the application. I'll be happy to share my copy of the survey.
Can she have it?
Oh, she can certainly have it.
Okay, Mr. O'Brien has certified surveys for right now, what it's currently exists at, and he's, has an extra copy that you can keep.
Okay. All right. And how would this, the runoff be managed to prevent flooding or water damage to my yard?
That is handled, if this is approved, the building department has a special department, what do you call it again? What is it?
Drainage is required to be maintained on the subject property according to New York State code.
Right, and what's the department that in our engineering or what?
Engineering?
Okay,
No, residential drainage has to be with the building department.
right,
And we will make sure that there's no
okay.
runoff on your property.
Yeah, there are certain requirements that that department handles.
Okay.
Becky, I thought it was engineering.
Yeah, they do.
I don't want the builders to have access to my property. There was a situation a couple of years ago where I heard this noise in my backyard, and matter of fact, sit down, baby. I still had on my pajamas, and I got up and I said, "What is that noise?" So I went to my window, and I see all these men in my yard. They were cutting down the trees that separated the property.
They have no right to be on your property. And Mr. O'Brien, I assume you'll assure us that no one in the process of this, if it's approved.
Of that, and if anybody is, call the local precinct and they're trespassing,
Okay.
period.
Maybe you could give her your card too, Mr.
Yes.
O'Brien. Thank you.
Also, and it's Mr. Romero and his contractor assured me that they were going to put up a fence. I have a daycare, and right now, because of they cut the trees, and Mr. Romero had told me that he was going to put up a fence, which never happened.
It's my understanding that they were waiting for this application to be heard. And as part of that, they're talking about this fence. Mr. Verdeland is Mr. Laverty has assured us through his counsel that he intends to put up a fence to your liking, and he will pay for that.
6-foot PVC fence.
Yeah, the one issue.
I just had problems because I'm worried about the kids.
Sure,
And
it should be protected.
Okay, just remember, if the fence cannot go forward at that house without relief.
According to
Hold on.
As per the tree preservation affidavit that was submitted, there were no trees on the property to be removed or cut down.
Oh, yes, there were.
No, not were, is. Is there now?
Not now, not now, not now.
Yeah.
In the past.
Okay, so that was not unrelated. Okay. What other issues?
Okay, another thing is what measures will be taken to control the noise, the dust, and the debris?
What are the hours? Miss First? Miss First? Miss First? Miss First, what are the hours they're allowed to do construction?
7 to 7, Monday through Friday, 9 to 6 on Saturday and Sunday.
So what are their plans? They're going to do, that's 7 to 7, Monday through Friday.
9 to 6 Saturday and Sunday.
9 to 6 Saturday and Sunday?
Those are the allowable hours. They're not allowed to do it outside of those times.
Okay.
I imagine
That's
if
a lot of
they're,
hours.
pardon me?
That's a lot of hours, especially on Saturday 9 to 6 and Saturday and Saturday, but Sunday.
Okay, hold on one second.
Let's just say, as the board is aware, I think the biggest intrusion on the community is when the foundation, not so much when the foundation is being put in, but when the house is being framed. And once the house is framed, all the noise will be indoors. So you're talking about probably about a 30-day window at max. Yes, will there be an inconvenience? But anybody doing construction in the neighborhood, whether someone's putting up a dorm or garage, an in-ground pool, it'll be no different than that.
Okay.
All right. And another question that I have is the trucks and whatever is needed for the construction, where will they be parking?
Not on your property, and I suppose we could probably make sure they don't park in front of your house.
Exactly, because of
Mr. O'Brien, could we do that?
Can we get a thank you, because I would think people dropping off and picking up kids at a house would be very bad if a truck was blocking it.
Exactly.
So we would try to limit any parking to Nostrand Avenue.
Okay, that's even better, Mr. O'Brien. They're going to do their best to limit the traffic of the construction vehicles so they're not even on New Street.
Nostrand Avenue is sort of a main drag.
Yeah, gotcha.
Oh, can I be provided with written copies of relevant approvals, permits, and contacts?
That's public record with the town of Hempstead.
So what, I just go on the site,
Are,
get it?
You have no problem with having access to the site and looking?
okay, hold on. Do you know what she's asking for?
I'm-
This is my ignorance. I don't use the site.
As the board is aware, everything is now electronically filed with the town.
Right, and she can access that. She doesn't have to make a FOIL request, right? Okay, that can be accessed. Our office can tell you how, the BZA office can tell you what the website address is and how you can go about accessing it if you don't already know how to. But all the materials are you can get on your computer at home and look at them. Everything the BZA office, which you would get to by going out there, going in the front door and your immediate left, and there's a counter in there. I don't want to try to explain to her how to do that.
Okay.
She did her homework, huh? It's always like limbo, it's always one thing.
And because I really don't want, during the day, interference with the daycare, with kids around.
We understand.
You know, Mr. Romero and the contractor assured me that they were going to put up a fence.
Yes, they will have a fence up
Right.
24 hours
But
a
I
day,
just want to
7
make
days
sure
a
that
week.
kids cannot have access to the area.
Yes, the construction fence will be up the entire time of the construction. And it's a rule and a law, and they're aware of that. And
Okay. And also, if I wrote this question down, but I don't see it on my list. I forgot to put it there. But my question is, if anything that happens, anything that happens, who's liable? Where does liability?
the fact of the matter is, that's a giant world of possibilities. We couldn't answer it, and it would, there's so many things that could happen, some related to construction, some not, that there's no way that question can be answered.
As boards aware.
But am I responsible for any liability? Will I be liable?
I don't, if you're referring to the construction of the site, unless you do something on the site, it's hard to imagine a scenario where you're responsible for anything that happens on the construction site.
Okay.
Okay, what else?
And if anything should happen on my property by accident, who will be liable?
It would depend on what happened and who did it, but it's not a question we could answer in this forum.
All right. I'm just really a concerned person because liability is,
yes, I understand.
Very, very important.
Yes,
Know
it is.
where,
it is.
If things should happen, who's responsible?
Sure.
And I understand this based on the situation.
Exactly.
Okay, and I just want to ensure that this project moves forward in compliance with town regulations and without negative impact on my property.
Understood. I think.
Or have any effect on my daycare.
Okay, I think we're on the path to that in the case that we do approve it, which we won't know until we deliberate. Then I think we're doing our best to set it up in a way that it shouldn't affect your daycare if everything goes smoothly.
Okay. Like I said, this is all new to me.
Yes, understood.
And I've been researching and trying to get answers and calling people. I need to know who's the town contact person or inspector assigned to this project for reporting issues.
That would be, if there are issues, you'd really have to just call the enforcement department. I don't have the phone number, but it should be on the website.
I can get that.
Okay, great.
Enforcement department.
Okay. I don't even know right now.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, is there anything else?
That's it.
Okay, wonderful.
I mean, there probably is, but I don't know.
Well, you got enough phone numbers there. I'm sure if there's anything you think of later, just give a call.
Okay, thank you
Okay.
so much.
So, the other 4 people who signed in were with you. Mr. Romero is
Is co-applicant.
in favor. Okay, Mr. O'Brien, is
Yes,
there anything
I
else?
want to come back because I know Mr. Pellegrini has waited patiently
Thank you.
to talk about
Reduce the house.
Here's the problem, and let's see if we can come up with a reasonable compromise. If I'm looking, Barry, with the small, you got the small
Yeah, I got
print
this.
here?
No,
Yeah,
no,
'cause
you-
I'm sorry, I'm working off a small print and I can't, even with glasses, I can't see. The maintained house right now, we're talking about a 43.24 foot frontage on Nostrand. If we widen that, and there's a reason why I'm using this number by, is it 2 I'm sorry. If we widen that by 2.8 feet, okay, and make that, and move our house forward, that, first of all, that brings,
You're gonna need a 6.7 foot front yard setback variance on New Street.
again, you're gonna need, but what you're going to do, if we're at 22.7 on New Street, that brings us in line with Miss Bogue's house, so that if you look down the street, you'll see something that's even. We're not going forward of her house.
Okay.
Fair enough?
Yeah, 50 by 100.
50 by 100 becomes very difficult with the size of the house.
Reduce the size of the house. Whatever, that's my feeling. I'm only one person.
Okay. I will,
So what?
Okay,
Put them up.
all right. Is there anything else you wish to add, Mr. O'Brien?
you know, if the board decides that a lesser house or different dimensions, if that becomes your decision, then let us, please let us
We
know, and
understand.
we'll at least consider submitting amended plans.
Okay, we understand.
Okay?
Good.
Fair enough?
Okay, in that case, if there are no other, are there any other questions from the board? Oh, my God.
I'm sorry.
Yo, Columbo, one more question.
We got 2 more.
Okay, you know, we're really drawing on. Quickly, one thing, quickly.
There are several pedophiles living in homes on my block. I would like to make sure that the home that is built, or the existing home, that that's not sold to someone
Okay.
who's been in.
I don't personally know what the laws are in terms of whether or not one can put that into the selection criteria. I imagine, you know, you're free to speak to them when they sell the homes, but it's really not an area we can get involved in. I understand your concern, okay? Thank you. Okay. Any other questions from the board? If not, do I have a motion?
I move the hearing be closed, the case placed on the decision calendar. When the board renders this decision, you all will be notified, those who signed in.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Is that your only case today, Mr. O'Brien?
Unfortunately for the board, no.
Oh, come on. You
Okay.
used up all your time.
Oh, my Lord. Okay.
Can I get some of Mr. Nelson's time? He was brief today.
I was.
Next, we have case 48625 Roosevelt Verde Lane Homes Incorporated, variances subdivision of lot area, front and width from an on-street line to front setback line, construct dwelling with garage, plot A, also known as 80 Henry Street, as well as case 48725 Roosevelt Erica James LLC, variances subdivision of lot area, front width from an on-street line to front setback line, side yards aggregate, maintained dwelling on a lesser lot, variance side yard, maintained detached garage, plot B, also known as 76 Henry Street. Gentlemen, I have you sworn in from earlier, just your name and address again for the record.
Yes, Robert W. O'Brien, 877 North Corona Avenue, North Valley Stream, New York, for the applicant.
It's Barry Nelson, 220 Pettit Avenue, Belmore, New York, 11710.
In this matter,
Good
I'm
afternoon.
representing the applicants, Verdiland Homes, INC, and Erica James LLC with respect to the instant application for a two-lot subdivision. I would move to have the two cases consolidated into one.
So moved.
To my right, again, is Barry Nelson, real estate expert. Mr. Steve Laverty, the principal of Verdiland Homes, is also here to answer any questions that the board may have. The property that is the subject of these applications is located on the north side of Henry Street, Hamlet of Roosevelt, approximately 474.08 feet east of Pennsylvania Avenue. Again, for the record, it's section 55, block 427, lots 67 to 20. Parcels that currently exist, perfect rectangle, 80 feet of frontage, 80-foot real property line, 122.9 feet of depth on each side, overall area 9,832 square feet. The applicants propose constructing a new one-family dwelling with attached garage on the westernmost portion of the property and maintaining the existing one-family dwelling on the easternmost portion. Each of the proposed properties will have the identical square footage, 4,916 square feet, 40 foot of frontage, 122.9 feet of depth. Under case 486 of 25, Verdiland is seeking variances for the subdivision of lot area and front width from and on street line to front setback line in order to construct the one-family dwelling and garage. Under the other case, Erica James LLC is seeking variances for subdivision of lot area, front width, from and on street line to front setback lines, side yards and side yard aggregate in order to maintain the existing dwelling on a lesser lot, and a side yard variance to maintain the existing detached garage. Those last several variances, of course, are being caused by the proposed subdivision and new dwelling, not because of anything
Right.
that exists right now. It is my understanding, and Mr. Nelson will get into it, that the board previously approved these applications back in 2007. I will, however, note before turning it over to him that the 5 properties immediately to the west of the subject and the 2 immediately to the east are all 40 by 100s. And
So this case was previously approved?
in
Yes,
2007.
Okay, and what happened?
It was granted.
What happened wasn't followed?
Oh,
It was never built. And I would tend to think it was because,
2008 crisis.
if you remember that the
Mr.
mortgage
Verdiland
market
can answer that
collapsed
question.
2008.
2008, and
Wait, let him.
financial.
Mr. Laverty has indicated to me that the owner of the property at the time couldn't get a mortgage release. When you sell off a side lot, the mortgage that's on the property, they have to agree to release a portion of the property, and apparently the homeowner at the time couldn't get it. I think since that time,
Okay.
and Ms. Laverty will correct me if I'm wrong, the owner lost the house in foreclosure, and
Whatever.
that's the way, whatever.
So I want to cut to the quick.
Yeah, I'm trying to do the same thing, Mr. Pellegrini.
Is the proposed house the same as the other proposed house?
My client is nodding his head and telling us yes.
So,
Nodding his head up and down as opposed to left.
And the plans examiner is too, she said.
so it's the same house, and you did make a motion or request to make the minutes of the other hearing be
All part of the
this
All
case,
part, I certainly do.
and which
You
includes
may have forgotten it because.
So moved.
which
I guess
includes
the answer is yes.
Mr. Nelson's testimony.
I wasn't on it at that time.
Ah.
Vinnie DeRosa.
Vinnie, how is Vinnie DeRosa?
No, I was asking, I don't know if, I haven't seen it.
Oh, okay.
It was a Frank Fezzer,
Frank Frezza.
Oh, how's
good
Frank
man
is-
who I hope is still with us.
He's
See, I
still-
know he's
Okay.
in Atlanta.
Okay, let's get on the case.
So, with that said, I have photographs of the subject property, comparable sales. I did get a copy of the decision and the map for the approved cases under case 181 and 183, 2007.
Hold on. Do we have another copy of the photographs?
2 copies.
Okay, we have someone who's assigned in, Wendy Thomas. Okay, can we give Ms. Thomas a copy of the photographs? We'll give you a copy of the same photographs that they're giving us of the, Mr. Nelson, did you take the photographs?
Yes.
Do they fairly and accurately represent what they purport to represent?
Yes.
Not been altered in any way?
No
Okay,
alteration.
we'll accept the photographs and evidence.
Council's gone over the case substantially.
Oh, hold on.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You gonna start testifying? Okay, well, no changes since you last testified. You're approved as an expert to give your opinion testimony as it relates to real estate and property valuations. Go ahead.
Thank you. As Council mentioned, it was a previous approval, 80 by 100, 80 by 122 into 240 by 122 plus or minus, equal size lots, parallel perpendicular lot lines. As Council mentioned, the area character is substantially developed. There are 5 40 by 120s plus or minus to the west, similar to the east of the subject property. In fact, if you look at tax lots 61 and 62 and 60 and 440, it has a frontage of a 31.8. I think it was just gerrymandered because of the existing house. Nevertheless, it's, in my opinion, it's comparable to what's being proposed in today's application. The 100-foot radius will demonstrate there's 12 out of 17, 70% that are non-conforming. Of those 12, 9 are 40-foot frontages and varies between 100-foot deep and, like the subject property, 122-foot depth. 200-foot radius, 25 out of 37, 67.6% non-conforming. 21 of the 25 have 40-foot frontages or less. The exhibits that I handed in would include comparable sales for the subject property, photographs of the subject property, the surrounding area on Henry Street, and I also handed in the previous previous appeal on the subject property, which I identified, cases 181 and 183, 2007. And subsequent to that, I think cases, I don't have a copy, but I handed in another subdivision, 31 and 34, on Henry Street. That was a similar subdivision as what is proposed today. The maintained house will have the detached garage that requires the rear yard setback, the side yard setback, as well as the dwelling, which is existing, will not be further impacted. The garage is on the subdivision line. The new house will comply with front yard, rear yard, side yard setbacks, and will provide for one-car internal garage for off-street parking. The benefit to the applicant and the co-applicant would be the seller and the developer is monetary. The existing house on the whole would be worth approximately $490,000 to $500,000. The house on the reduced, approximately $450,000. A building lot is worth approximately $250,000 with building permits and plans as proposed. The new house would sell for approximately $775,000. The existing house, approximately $450,000 in its as-is condition, with a total aggregate monetary to the seller and to the developer of approximately $300,000 to $310,000 in gross profits. That weighed against the detriment to the community. We have substantial amount of 40 by 100, both on the north side of the subject block and to the north on the south side of West Roosevelt Avenue. The pattern of development is established. One new home in this area is beneficial. It'll tend to keep appreciating property values. There are very few homes, less than 20 homes for sale in the entire area of Roosevelt. Currently, one new house is not going to alter or change the central character neighborhood. All municipal services, including street, concrete sidewalks, and curbs, fire hydrants, are available to the subject property.
Mr. Nelson, I don't really see that many 40 by 100s. Most of the 40s are about 122, like the subject property, right? And then the ones that are only 100 deep are 50s and 60s. Am I misunderstanding this?
There's, on the north side of Henry Street would be the 122.
Hold on, you're right.
And you're on the south side of West Roosevelt, you have the 40 by 120s.
Right, but there's not a 40.
North side of West Roosevelt, you have some 40 by 100s.
There's 4 of those, yeah, okay.
Right, but for the most part, the predominant depth is,
122 on that one,
right.
okay,
Thank you, that's my testimony.
thank you. Is there anything else you wish to add right now, Mr. O'Brien?
Here who wants to speak, and I'll wrap up if
Perfect.
the board after they speak.
Perfect. Ms. Thomas, I'm going to ask you to step up to the podium here. Ms. Clancy will swear you in, and then we can hear from you as to what you want us to know about this application.
Wendy Thomas, 87 Henry Street, Roosevelt.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
What would you like us to know about this application?
Okay, I'm here as a 40-year resident of the street, and I object to building on the 2 small lots on Henry Street. There is already a serious parking problem on the street because almost all of the legally one-family houses, meaning houses listed and paying taxes as a one-family residence, are multifamily dwellings or rooming houses. When we moved on the street, it was maybe 5 houses on the street. Now there's maybe 5 or 6 that are not, out of all the streets between Nassau Road and Pennsylvania, okay?
Are they legally?
I would think not.
You have the option of calling the Building Department Enforcement Division.
They told me that unless they are invited in by the landlord, there's nothing they can do.
That wasn't my understanding.
There was a house for sale across the street a few years ago, and I went in. Like I said, we lived across the street, and I told them, my grandson's looking for a house, which he was. They had divided the basement into 6 rooms. They showed me the hidden plumbing that was already there for a bathroom and a kitchen. Okay, this is what happens. And honestly, I don't have a problem with people doing what they have to do to survive. My problem is that it's overcrowding a street that was a single family, that was designed and built for single family homes. And now it is not. And okay, I'm gonna finish because I don't want to lose my train of thought. Okay. There's already a serious parking problem on the street because almost all of the legally one-family homes on the street are now multifamily or rooming houses, and the number of cars per house greatly exceeds the planned amount of cars. One house had at least 8 cars at one time. Many have 3, 4, or 5. It has caused a lot of problems, including fights among neighbors, and a few years back, cops were even called for a fight over parking. Some residents have paved their front yards to park. We never get street cleaning services because the street is always clogged with cars. The truck will literally go down the middle of the street. Sometimes there are box trucks or 18-wheelers parked on the street toward the Pennsylvania Avenue end for days. It's been relatively calm for a while. Most of the owners that live in the houses and understand the parking issues, they explain to their tenants. People have worked out parking without fights, but the spaces in front of both plots are used, and one is often used for extra parking on the street. Where will the new residents park? It feels like the street is already heavily overpopulated, and adding 2 more houses is going to put a strain on neighborly relations again.
It's actually 1 house they want to add. They want to add 1 house and keep a house, right?
Yes.
So they're not building on both lots?
Correct, because they want to keep the house that is on what we're calling lot. The house with the detached garage, that's to stay. And then you want to add 1 house. And just if I might ask Mr. O'Brien, how many cars can fit in that driveway?
As proposed, one in the garage, one in the driveway. My client's willing, as a condition of any grant, to make the pad in the front a double wide pad so that we could accommodate three vehicles, 1 in the garage, 2 on the pad.
Okay, thank you.
It was my understanding that they were building on both lots. Now you're saying you're not building on both lots.
Well, hold on. I want to make sure there's a house that exists already.
Yes.
It's a side lot. We're building.
And it has a lot on the side, and they want to put a house there, but,
Mhm.
One new house.
right. They're building one house.
So why are we discussing two lots?
Because in order to ask permission to build on that lot, they have to ask to build on that and to keep the old house on a smaller lot than it used to be on. So it makes two lots, one to keep the old house on and one to put a new house, an additional house.
I assure you, if you want as a condition of the grant, that's exactly what we only want to build one
I
new
understand.
house and leave the existing house where it is.
Right.
Okay,
Owner occupied on the new house, too.
okay.
And he's agreed, if it helps,
Uh-huh.
to double the width of the parking pad. It's not a lot, but it can take another car off the street.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Now, the last few times we had construction on the street, equipment was left on the street overnight for weeks, taking up parking spaces, forcing people to park long distances from their home. Plus, the street is too narrow and we can barely get through now. When there's equipment out front, it causes a lot of problems. Don't get me wrong, I actually like most of my neighbors, they're good people, but if the town will not do anything to control illegally divided homes and the number of cars allowed per house on the street, I do not believe we should have additional houses built that will add even more stress to residents and neighborly relations and deplete parking even more. In short, it's a quality of life issue. The population on the street has almost doubled in the past 40 years since we've been there. In my humble opinion, it will be too much. And like I said, one of the properties is used to park on. The one with the house with the detached garage is not, but the other one is. And I just don't understand how developers keep thinking it's okay to cram more and more. These lots are small. They're very small lots. And while I understand the requirements and the permits and things are different than they were in the 50s and 60s, when most of the previous houses were built, these lots are very small. And if you look at them, one car fits in front of the other. And where they're proposing to build is actually used for parking.
Okay. I do see some of the homes have cars in the yards. I've noticed that in the prior case also.
If you drive down the street, you will see how many have their parking, have had to pave their yards, or sometimes people, my neighbor was in school. She got off after work and went to school, and she came home 11:30 at night. She had to park all the way down on Pennsylvania, and she didn't feel safe.
Okay. Thank you. Mr. O'Brien?
Just to wrap up, I well understand the concerns, and it's ironically funny, not funny, that I think in Nassau County, it's sometimes considered an act of war if you park in front of somebody else's house.
I've noticed that.
It's tough stuff. You want to be able to park there, you want your neighbors to come in, but the bottom line is, there may be, and as I hear from the good neighbor, there are a number of houses there that aren't in compliance, that aren't good neighbors. Well, we're doing everything to ensure that the owner of whoever buys this new house will be a good neighbor. We're putting in, having 3 parking spots. We're agreeing to owner occupancy. As the board knows, we haven't mentioned it as a condition, but the board will impose it, and we accept it. No exterior basement entrance, so that you won't have an illegal basement rental on this property. We're going to be the good neighbor on the block if the board approves this. And as the board understood when it approved this years ago, it fits in the nature and character of the area. Like the jigsaw puzzle I mentioned in an earlier case, this is the missing piece right now on that side of the block, and it will fit in very nicely, and there'll probably be a very nice family that buys it. First-time home buyers generally, I find, and new construction, and it'll be a wonderful thing. So.
Okay, last time we're doing twice.
Sorry, I know you want to go, but you don't live in the neighborhood. You don't know the fabric of the neighborhood. You don't know what the neighborhood is like. And putting a new house in the neighborhood that you claim will sell for much more than the people are going to get their houses. It's only going to raise our property taxes, not increase. Even if it increases the value of our homes slightly, it's just going to raise our property taxes. Roosevelt is dumped on repeatedly, okay? And our property taxes are way too high. This is not fair to keep doing to the residents of Roosevelt, claiming to know what's good for Roosevelt, claiming to know what fits.
Okay,
When have you ever been there?
okay.
If you may now,
No.
no, if the chair says so, I won't.
Let's not.
But I'm ready to go off at that point.
Stop. Let's, anything else you wish to add, Mr. O'Brien?
I will base what I said on what the board knows that I've
Thank you.
represented over the years.
Thank you. I did not
Thank you.
expect that. I apologize. Any other questions from the board? If not, do I have a motion?
You want to talk to me about riding from Elmont?
No, I understand what you're saying.
Because I know what the subliminal message is.
Yes.
And
I got it.
goddamn right.
Huh? That'd be nice. I just have to. You know what Charlie Kirk is, right? No. Oh, you don't? Never mind. He does a lot of podcasts. He's always on universities, colleges. He was just shot in the head this morning, or a few minutes ago.
I saw that on the news feed.
Yeah.
I didn't know who he was, but
Charlie
I saw
Kirk?
on the news feed
He's a
some
good guy.
conservative person was shot. Was he killed?
I don't know. I just got the text.
I was when I was sitting there scrolling around, on the internet, and then I saw it. I had no idea who he was.
Pro good, you know.
We're going to have to take a 10-minute recess to let the court reporters' hands rest for 10 minutes. I apologize. So, all right, 10 minutes. We'll come back.
Only when you're in a rush that it turns into that, you know? Because usually there's like helping you out. Should just put this in there.
I already done on January, I'll tell you right now, January.
I don't know, if somebody sent it to me. You want me to send it to you?
He's done, huh? He's been saying he was done.
No, he's not.
Yeah.
I'm telling you right now.
Yeah. Two what? Oh, yeah?
How are you?
When he done?
January 20th.
Oh, is that it?
Yes, I don't want, if I go out on maternity leave, you gotta totally fly. I'm thinking about you. You know. Where you go, Krista?
Next, we have case 48825 Wanta, Joseph Giacoruso. Variances, subdivision of lot, front width from and on street line to front setback line, construct dwelling with garage, parcel 1, demolish existing dwelling, detached garage, greenhouse and shed, also known as 2256 Brookside Avenue. We also have case 48925 Wanta, Joseph Giacoruso. Variances, subdivision of lot, front width from and on street line to front setback line, construct dwelling with garage, parcel 2, west side Brookside Avenue, 547.55 feet north of Merrick Road, known as 2256 Brookside Avenue. You swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Yes. Please take a seat. State your name and address for the record.
Dominic Minerva, Minerva and D'Agostino, 107 South Central Avenue, Valley Stream, New York, attorney for the applicant.
It's Barry Nelson, 220 Pettit Avenue, Belmore, New York, 11710.
Good afternoon. The application before you today is for variances to permit the construction of 2 new single-family dwellings on the subject premises. There's also a ride-along file that is not part of the variance application to divide a small portion of the parcel in the rear and transfer same to an abutting property owner to add to the neighbor's parcel. The little triangle piece, and it's proposed to be transferred to tax lot 7 on your radius map.
So we're dividing that off of the 2?
Yes, well, that's our proposal. Our proposal is to divide the little triangle piece behind our lot, which is right now part of our lot, which does not affect the variances, to transfer it to the neighbor. The neighbor in the cul-de-sac. Yes, they were building a new house on their lot, which. My understanding is that they're not included, they have a building permit for the foundation for that house, which was installed. And again, I'm not representing them. I haven't had communication with them. They may be using that to get their lot coverage for their house to be as of right, but I am not positive.
That house is already under construction.
Yes.
Very much completed.
Oh, okay.
Mr.
Go
Minerva.
ahead, wait, Becky.
Yeah, because how many lots do we have here?
The new house that's already currently being built on the cul-de-sac was issued in error without the lot coverage. This reapportionment, which does not affect the subdivision, would correct that building permit that was issued by the building department, so that it is not over lot coverage.
So we're creating the two lots for the houses, and we're carving off that piece?
That's our request, to create the two new, our client only owns tax lot 25.
The carving off of the piece is actually does not affect the variance, does not really affect the subdivision on the other street.
Right, but
You're only hearing the subdivision on the other street.
okay, that's the question I have.
Correct.
So our subdivision cases here, the two of them, are these two, that triangle and that other property are not relevant to our inquiry
Yes,
here.
though I
We're
have not-
carving that triangle off here.
No, though I have not issued the building permit for that little triangle added to that. It's riding along here, just so in case you have a condition that you would like to impose.
We don't have to consider it, okay.
Correct. I'm only bringing that to your attention because that triangle piece is part
Would
of our
otherwise
tax
be
lot currently, but it's not part of our application.
Right.
It will go with the
Got it.
other house on Abbey Court. Subject property is known as 2256 Brookside Avenue, Wantaw. It's known as Section 56, Block 502, and Tax Lot 25 on the Nassau County Land and Tax Map. It's located in the Residence A zone. Subject parcel contains 17,314 square feet, and the proposal is to subdivide the parcel into 7,118 square foot lot and a 7,120 square foot lot, so they're almost two even-sized parcels for the purposes of constructing two new single-family dwellings.
If you're legal lots, why do we need to do the subdivision?
No, we're Residence A zone. So we have, instead of the 55 feet front width, we need 60 feet in this zone, and we have the 56.95, which is the only variation that we're requesting from the board to build the two new homes. The 17,000 less the two 7,000 square foot lots leaves that extra 3,076 square feet, which is the back piece for that we're proposing to transfer to the neighbor's parcel. The variances requested are for front width only for each parcel, with 60 feet required in the Residence A and 56.9 feet provided for each of the proposed two new homes. The lots are otherwise conforming and oversized to the Residence A zoning district. Each dwelling is proposed to have a two-car attached garage and two-car driveway. As you'll hear shortly, the proposal is in keeping with the character of the area. The relief requested is minor in nature and will not be detrimental to the property owners. Before I have Mr. Nelson start, just my brief summary is, this is a little enclave just north of Merrick Road. It's surrounded by the Wantaw Parkway and a preserve. You have only 40 homes in this area, and there's no real through streets, so it's almost like dead-end blocks. And other than our parcel, there's only one other parcel in the whole enclave that's capable of a similar subdivision. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Nelson. And I would just ask if Mr. Nelson's qualifications as a real estate expert can be continued for this hearing.
Nelson, since the last time you testified, any changes to your credentials?
No.
All right, you're qualified to testify. Give opinion, testimony, expert testimony as it relates to real estate valuation, etc.
Thank you.
Thank you.
As Council mentioned, it's a slightly unique area in that it's an enclave just Merrick Road. The easterly boundary would be the Wantaw State Parkway, and the westerly portion would be the preserve, part of Mill Pond and so on. The area is fully developed. It acts like a residential B zone. Typically, parcels near parkways, Southern State Parkway, Wantaw Parkway, when they drew up the zoning maps, were designated as a residential A zone. Otherwise, the area is substantially residential B zone. It's the Brookside Avenue, Linden Street corridor, that's the residential A zone. As Council mentioned, the only variances sought would be for the front width. 56.95 feet is proposed, where 60 feet is required, 3 feet short on each parcel. In my opinion, that's de minimis and would not negatively affect the character of the neighborhood or the pattern of development. Each lot is in excess of 7,000 square feet. The proposal is for 2 new colonials with 2-car garages and driveways for at least 2 additional, possibly 4 additional off-street parking. Nevertheless,
Place for an entrance?
There is one shown on the plan, but we'll of course accept the board's standard conditions for the single-family homes in the event that the board's inclined to grant the application.
Both houses identical?
Yeah.
Thank you.
so with my testimony, I have packets of photographs of the subject property and the surrounding uses. I have aerial views for the subject property and the location. And lastly, I would like to hand in comparable sales. And I did attach 3 approvals for other subdivisions outside this area, but all within a residential A or AA zones with the frontages that have been varied pursuant to the residential A code, less than a 60-foot
Did
front.
you take the photographs not the aerials, the others?
Yes,
And do they fairly and accurately represent what they purport to represent?
they do.
Okay, and the aerial photos, where'd you get those?
Off of Google Earth and the Nassau County.
You didn't alter them after you got them, right? They're not in any way otherwise altered?
That's correct.
The decisions that you've attached are decisions of this board?
Yes.
Okay, we'll accept all that into evidence.
Thank you so
Thank you.
much. With that said, the benefit to the applicant is monetary. 2 new homes would sell for in excess of $1,500,000 to $1,600,000, in keeping with the higher end of property values. In my opinion, what's requested before the board is a reasonable request, considering the de minimis front width variances. Colonials are the positive trend for the area, and in my opinion, all municipal services are available to the subject site surrounding area. If you look at it's on a dead end. If you look at just to the north of the subject property, you have 2 houses, one with a 50-foot frontage in the residential A zone, and the other one with a 50.97-foot frontage. So we have the pattern set up. There's only one other possible subdivision, and most likely it will come before you in the next few years, and that would be the property just to the south, and they would be an identical split. That house is a very small Cape Cod on an oversized lot. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Nelson. Mr. Minerva, I have a stack of emails that have come in. I don't know if you've had a chance to see
I have
them,
not.
but I'd like to give you an opportunity. There's a lot referencing. I'd like to give them to you and let you have an opportunity to address them. I opened one of them here that has several issues in it that is a lot like them. A lot of it relates to the Bay project that took 2 years and it disrupted the neighborhood. So if you want to just take a quick look at them and respond to some of the issues raised, I'd appreciate it. There's no one here. There's no one here on this case other than the applicant, correct?
That is my understanding. I don't.
So far, that's what
anyone had signed in.
Applicant and lawyer and Mr. Nelson.
Thank you.
And,
So, John Caruso, is the existing house in a state of disrepair? I mean, it looks like a nice house.
well, he's got to be sworn in.
Yeah.
And,
You want me to
Can
consult with him, or you want me to have him just?
Can you answer that?
well,
We'll do that.
he's got to
I'm
look
just
at those.
curious.
He says it's an outdated house, but it's not in disrepair or hazard.
I was there the other day. It looked like a decent house.
No, okay.
Red was this issue of 2 more houses, which is a misunderstanding, obviously. It's only 1 additional house.
One additional house, correct. So most of these objections seem to be talking about traffic and and being a hazard to the area. Again, it's one new home. We're going to have ample parking for this dwelling. It's an enclave that's cut off, so it does not have through traffic. So we would, and there's no empirical support in terms of what traffic they're referring to and how many vehicles. So we would, respond by indicating that, we don't anticipate that would have any impact on traffic, much less create a traffic hazard with one new home added to the community. And we also testified this is a blocked off enclave with 40 homes in the whole enclave, and there's only one other lot out of the 40 homes that's even possible or capable of a similar subdivision.
And the relief requested is quite de minimis, given that.
Requested is minor in nature, and just off the radius map, in addition to what Mr. Nelson testified, that we're right next to 250s. Behind us, we have a 40 and a 46, and then just south of tax lot 22 on our street, there's a 48.9, a 58.41, and a 40-foot frontage right in a row, just south of tax lot 22. So it's our position that the variance is minor in nature. We are in keeping with the character of the area and will not be out of character as the objectors allege.
Okay, I'll take those back if you're done with them. Is there anything else you wish to add, Mr. Minerva?
That concludes our case, and we request your favorable consideration.
Okay, are there any other questions from the board? Oh, I thought you did.
No, I just asked about the.
Mr. Minerva, will your client accept an owner-occupied condition if the board were to look favorably on the application?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. And you already said no basement staircase.
Yeah, we would accept all the standard conditions that the board routinely places on variances for new homes, including no exterior basement entrance.
Okay, since there are no further questions, may I have a motion from the board, please?
I move the hearing be closed, the case placed on the decision calendar. When the board renders its decision, you will be notified.
Second? All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, Mr. Minerva.
Thank
You
you.
done now, Mr. Nelson?
Yes. Have a good afternoon.
Thank you, Mr. Nelson.
Next, we have case 49025, Inwood Yeshiva Katana of Long Island. Install 8-foot and 12-foot high fences on a Residence B district. Install 8-foot and 12-foot high fences in a business district, a portion of which is forward of adjacent buildings on both sides. Maintain 8-foot high fence in a business district, a portion of which is forward of adjacent buildings on both sides, all on a larger lot, also known as 321 Dowdy Boulevard. Please stand. Raise your right hand. Swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God. Take a seat. Name and address for the record.
Good afternoon, members of the board. William Bonesso for Chelly Deegan Tarana, 333 Earl Ovington Boulevard, Uniondale, New York. Here on behalf of the applicant, Yeshiva Katana of Long Island. To my right is Rabbi Ari Ginian, who runs the yeshiva. And we are before the board today regarding the property that is situated on the west side of Dowdy Boulevard. It is, the physical address is 321 Dowdy Boulevard in Inwood. The yeshiva has been there for some time. The property is split zoned. The portion fronting on Dowdy Boulevard is zoned Business X District, and the rear portion of the property is Residence B District. The request for the board today strictly pertains to fencing. There is already fencing exceeding 6 feet high on the property. The request before the board today is to permit fencing, new fencing, and to maintain fencing that is 8 feet high, and to permit new fencing that is 12 feet high, mostly around the perimeter of the facility. And we'll get into the details of that in just a moment with Mr.
Bonesso?
Yes.
What is the notation, both sides, all on a lesser lot? I've never seen that for fencing. District portion which is forward of the adjacent buildings on both sides, all on a lesser lot. I don't even know what that means on fencing.
It says all on a larger lot.
Okay, all on a larger lot. Either one,
Yeah, Jason
still
built
never saw it.
both sides, all on a larger lot. Becky? I'm not quite sure myself.
Referencing the perimeter. Acquired property around them.
Pardon me? All right, well, I guess you can go ahead. We can,
All right.
we'll get the answer when Becky gets it.
So as noted, the property is developed already with a building. It's got a number of outdoor activity areas. There is an out parcel, if you will, that is on Dowdy Boulevard that the property actually surrounds. It's adjacent on the north side of the entrance to the property. But other than that, they are seeking permission to to install 12-foot high non-scale chain link fencing around the entire perimeter of the property, to install some 8-foot fencing in other areas within the property, and to maintain some 8-foot fencing that is already installed. The yeshiva previously got permission to install some 10-foot fencing, which they recently did in a temporary fashion because they intend to replace the temporary fencing that brings it up to 10 feet with the 6-foot sections on top of existing 6-foot sections that will make it 12 feet. But this will allow for not only more security, but also will better retain the activities that are occurring on the property. As you'll hear from the rabbi, there have been instances where basketballs and other activities have spilled off the property because the fences are not high enough. So if I may, I'll just have Mr. Rabbi Ginian give a little overview of what the history of this is, and also talk about the federal grants that you obtained.
Of course. I want to thank the board always for hearing us out. We're very, very appreciative of the past history that we have together and looking forward to continuing to grow. That's the goal of the school and the nature of the yeshiva. Here in our case today, we do, and I really want to address this, that it's a genuine concern that I did this for the sake of the neighbors. And of course, as was mentioned in the security, whereas that we are being mindful that it's true. Balls do travel over the side of the fence, baseball gloves, shoes, coats, occasionally a cucumber may fly over. And the goal is to minimize and mitigate this type of activity. Even in an innocent nature, when the boys are just playing, it does happen. I have witnessed over the years neighbors coming over to us and, yes, sharing their grievances and complaints about it. And taking a fence to the height of 12 feet will really alleviate and mitigate as much as possible of these types of activities. I additionally went beyond the call of duty to making this aesthetically pleasing. This will be a green, non-scalable chain link fence so that it actually is more aesthetic to the neighborhood. It enhances the community. It's not look like your everyday steel gate chain link fence. And it was done in this fashion also, like I mentioned, that it is a security concern. There are people who do drive by the neighborhood, and I don't have to tell you what just happened recently, but I went up to the 12-foot level so that, and making it non-scalable so that the boys can play freely and not have any type of a fear factor that there could be any type of intruder coming along their way in the community when a teacher or security officer may not be able to see it. So the 12-foot suggested height was intentionally done to make it almost impossible to scale, as well as the additional equipment that was the type of fencing that's being used is not climbable, both for my boys not to climb out and not for uninvited guests to climb in.
Wait, but it's chain link?
Chain link.
I feel like chain link is scalable.
This is
very tight.
Very, very tight. It's a 1-inch chain link versus the 3-inch that we're all familiar with. It's very, very hard to climb up. So that was the intended need for that. Additionally, again, I wanted to expound upon that I chose a green finish to make it really aesthetically pleasing. It really looks like almost like a state park. It's done with the neighbors in mind so that they should not be looking at a black, dense chain link fence at the end of the day, or a steel chain link fence, which makes you feel like you're in a penitentiary. So the idea was to make it friendly, make it community friendly, and that's what we did. We've installed the first 6 feet of this chain link fence, and we put in a temporary netting, what's called a deer netting, up to the 10-foot mark, upon the board granting us the permission to go up to that 12-foot marking.
So
And,
will the 12-foot, so I saw the photos
correct,
of the fencing that was, I assume, 6 feet, whatever, and the netting, which seemed clearly to be for the balls, et cetera, reasonable. So you're saying that will go away, that
Correct.
netting? And it
Correct.
will all just be the 6-foot green, non-climbable?
That's correct.
I have a question about the fencing. There's a lot of fencing going on here. So the fencing that is, it says proposed 8-foot high non-scale chain link fence. I assume that's the same green stuff. But where you pull out of the parking lot, it appears to go all the way to the street. And I just
I'll
want to make
clarify.
sure that that doesn't create a visual safety issue for people pulling out of the parking lot, because it is on the outs.
This is entrance only over here.
Correct. I'll clarify what that fencing is. The fencing really is, as you, again, take note to the property, there is one house that we completely surround, my friendly neighbor Nick, and I hope to be able to buy him out one day. So the 8-foot fence was to prevent, not Nick, he's a good neighbor, but if an intruder were to enter into Nick's property through his driveway or his front entranceway, it would create a higher barrier between the school's property and Nick's property. If you'll notice how it is a complete, like a U shape around him.
Yes, I have no issue with it as long as it doesn't create a safety issue for the vehicle, because it says it's the curb out. So I just want to know that.
It says curb cut. That northerly curb
say
cut,
out.
that northerly curb cut is entrance only.
Okay.
So that won't
I
impact.
thought it should be entrance.
Right.
That's why I was surprised. Okay, good.
No,
So that was my only concern.
And just to clarify, additionally, the fence that we're referring to this on this 8-foot marker, it is in the internal portion of the property. So it doesn't affect any of the front lining gate, sidewalk, perimeter, or entranceway. It's just to separate us from the neighborly portion.
Yes, I understand that rationale. Makes sense.
Thank you.
Okay.
That's our direct presentation. If the board has any questions, prepared to answer them.
Mr. Vanessa, I inspected the property, took pictures, and I thought, first of all, they keep it very well. And you definitely need a fence in the back where the artificial turf or whatever, that field where the kids were playing on. And for security reasons, you're absolutely correct. I mean, it needs to be done. But there was no sightline problems when I was there, actually. I went in and out, and the security guard took me around. It looked fine to me.
I agree, Mr. Plummer. Unfortunately, we live in a day and age where there is a need for security for facilities like this. It's a shame to say, but nevertheless, it's a fact of life. So the fact that they were able to secure some federal grants, correct?
Yes,
Federal
federal
grants
funding.
to support this, make it that much easier for them to implement it. But at the same time, as much as they are doing it for their own security, they're helping out the neighbors by keeping the balls and in fact, animals. I think there was an incident.
There's a little bit of everything that goes on with little cute boys. Yes.
Yeah. So I think, it goes with the saying that good fences make good neighbors. I think here you've got higher fences make even better neighbors.
I never heard that.
So we.
Like that?
Mr. Benesso, if you're done for the moment at least, we have another individual signed in as interested, Rodolfo Blanco. Would you like to be heard, sir? Okay, so why don't you come up here? Is that okay, Mr. Benesso? And then we'll come back to you.
That's fine.
He signed in as interested, and we just need to swear him in and let him be heard. I think he's the guy who lives here. Because when I was asking him about the fence and the dangers of pulling out, he's like,
Thank you. Hi, my name is Rodolfo Blanco. I live in 345 A.W. Boulevard, right next to the school. And, about the 12 feet high, I think they say that maybe it's good. For me, I'm going to feel like I'm going to live in an enclosure in a cage. And right next to, and from Dowry Boulevard to the back of my house, I have.
down for me a little bit. I want him to go ahead. Keep going.
Right, I got 360-foot long fence right next to my house. I live it in the back on the property of 345 between 339 and the shopping center.
Okay, hold on. We want to find you on our radius map.
I know I'm hiding from people. 345 A supposed to be the front house, but it's the last house. I don't know why.
Hold on, let's get you marked on. Okay, can you tell us?
Okay. Which one, I don't disagree. I know Rabbi Ari, he's an excellent leader for the school, and we always working together and we find out things. And we did have an agreement that one day when he knocks everything down, if he do some fence, we're gonna do some landscaping, and so that way we can have privacy. They have a pool, they have activity. I got over 300 people looking at my house every single day. And about the high fence, the only my concern is now when I exit my driveway, I can see nothing until I see the sidewalk.
Can we ask you, how
Yes.
did you even access your home?
It's a long driveway. There's two properties in one lot.
I was
And
just
this-
asking the same thing. Apparently,
Yes.
it's a flag lot.
With Ali Sheik on that side?
Yes.
Yes, technically it's like an
His
alley.
driveway fronts on Dowdy, and it extends up a driveway to the rear.
And from Dowdy Boulevard to the back of my house, I have 360 foot or 12 foot high fence, and I feel like I live in an enclosing, but if we can make it looks nicely, you can do the mesh and do some landscaping. So through the year, the landscaping go through the mesh and create like a normal,
Yeah,
you know.
he's planning to switch it, I don't know if
I-
you guys have spoken, to a 6-foot chain link, but with a tight.
Yes.
That's green, so it will.
Yeah, but I see everybody looking at me. As long as I cannot lose my privacy, the point number one was I don't want to see his business, and I don't want to see my business. And I got 400, 300 kids running around. We did agree, and I hope we can keep the word, and he can do the landscaping, and I don't mind, in that terms, if the fence goes up.
Hold on. So you guys have already agreed to putting some landscaping along that?
I'll address that. One of the items that I wanted to do as part of the security feature is that I wanted to make it visually imperable that you're not even able to see through the fencing from the outside. So what we're going to do is we're going to be adding that fuzzy backing to the fencing where you see it in parks or you see it in certain areas where it's either slats or a mesh carpet of these fuzzy slats. So not only will you not see through the fence, but it's even more aesthetically pleasing. It has like a nice greenery effect.
Looks like foliage.
Yeah, it looks like that. So yes, first of all, Rudy and I have had an ongoing conversation for many, many years, and I'm very pleased with his presentation. He and I have an open, ongoing relationship, and yes, we've spoken this out in the past together. And yes, part of the build-out would be, after adding that second 6-foot sectional, we would be putting this greenery so it makes it look more aesthetically pleasing for him on his lot side.
And he has more privacy.
And he'll have more
Be
privacy.
a primary issue.
Correct.
Yeah, the only thing I would like to do something more to be like a normal something, like a green wall, 360 foot by 12 feet. When you come into my driveway, you feel like you got engaged. So if we can make it look nicer,
Okay.
I would like. Then the second thing, it is a little issue now when I exit with my car from my driveway. You don't see nothing until you're in the middle of the sideway. They build the wall front is 8 feet high, and I have no way to see the driveway when people walk sidewalk. I mean,
Oh, the pedestrian.
yes, I would like if maybe we can get in like a round mirror on my sidewalk, so at least I can see then when some pedestrian walking by, because they can cause an issue. I can hit somebody, especially now winter time.
Or do you want to?
It's really risky to drive out.
I think that seems reasonable, Mr. Benesso, because a lot of these people he doesn't want to hit are the students too.
Okay. We could do one of those mirrored discs so that he can see it when he's backing out or pulling out if there's a pedestrian walking by. Yeah.
Not on the side of the vehicle.
Yes, and one of the other things that I did ask 2 years ago when you guys give it the permit to extend the school, people sitting in my driveway for 15, 20 minutes waiting for pickup kids. So they're using my driveway to U-turn. You can see 20, 25 cars a day using my driveway to make U-turn.
And may I address
So
that?
the point that I say is, I want the town, if he can help me out, to mark the street, do white lines with a cross, would say don't block the intersection, don't block the driveway.
You can get into your driveway.
But I need the town help me to paint the street, paint my sidewalk, paint the street to say white lines across so nobody can sit in there. I know a street is public and you can park anywhere you want till you block a driveway. Soon as you block a driveway, there's no more public
I'm
anymore.
not sure how much the paint would do, but it seems like you, what say you?
I do agree with him that there is a challenge when parents do line up for carpool. And we continually campaign with the parents that they should be more mindful. And we call it derech eretz in Hebrew, that they should have respect for the neighbors and they should not be blocking the driveway. They are getting better at it, but it's a process and it's a little bit of a learning curve. I believe what Rudy is presenting, and I've heard this request before, and I would actually second it, but it's not part of our application today, is can the town allow for marcations or demarcations in the street showing that this is a driveway, that not to even stand temporarily in that driveway area?
Hold on. Becky, how would that get addressed?
We've tried them before. Yeah, we've tried it before. They don't work. So it is a valid request, if I may ask, if it's at all possible.
Cones, I don't know.
That we could do.
Look at, yeah, maybe stick it on.
Correct. It is. Yeah, that's part of the challenge.
I think Mr. Benesso knows the inners and outers of the town government as well as the county. You could perhaps make some phone calls and try to find out for your client.
We could contact Nassau County DPW to find out what, if any, arrangements could be made in that regard.
At midnight, just get a can of paint.
Can I go on the record with that?
I just asked the rabbi if maybe some sandwich board signs that they put out during pickup and drop off at the driveway, saying don't block this driveway. But he advised that they've tried that before and it really.
Try it again.
But we need to keep pushing because they blocking me. They start to learning already because I'm coming, I blocking, I honk, I put my car next to, I go down on my car and I'm telling people that can you realize this is a driveway, you sitting for 20 minutes waiting to pick up your kid and blocking the driveway. We need to use. So people start to learning because soon as they see me already, they're running away, especially with my heavy Spanish accent. But that can create a problem because one day maybe somebody can come down from the car and that can create an issue and an argument. And why we need to have an argument? Just I want a full access from my house to get in and out. I know it's hard to control 200 people, but if you go into any day when the school dispatch the kid, you can see the cows. I know the cows is for 30 minutes. And I'm willing, and I'm dealing, and I know Rabbi Ari is working really hard with it. But I need the town help me out. You guys are allowed to paint the street. If you give me the permit, I'm buying a brush and I paint and I do it myself. But I can do it.
Well, we've just discovered that it's not a town street, it's the county. So Mr. Benesso is going to see if he can make a phone call or two, find out if there's a way to have that happen. Because I don't think anyone here disagrees.
I'm really stuck, it's the line they do it in front of my house. It also not, you can control people, but if you do some sign or something, it could be better than nothing.
I will contact Nassau County DPW, find out what, if anything, can be done and what they would be willing to do. I recognize that this is a county road. It's not the town's ability to do anything like what Mr. Blanco was asking for, but perhaps the county can. So I have no problem doing that.
I got no problem. Thank you for the cooperation. Like we always with Ari, we've been dealing together. And thank you so much.
Thank you, Rudy. I appreciate that.
My pleasure.
Thank you. All right, Mr. Benesso, you want to sum it up?
I will, as indicated, contact the county about something, whatever they can do with regard to not blocking that driveway. I can certainly understand if somebody blocks your driveway for a half hour and you can't get out or get in, that is a problem. So we'll see what we can do.
Maybe we can put some cones there in the interim,
I could bring some out.
just to block his little spot.
Beyond that, I think the application as requested is very reasonable. I think it serves a purpose for both the neighborhood and the security of the children occupying the facility. Nassau County Planning Commission has recommended local determination, so we would ask the board to look favorably upon the application.
Oh, God, all day this is.
When you put in fence, the right face of the fence has to be by the neighbor. I believe they're planning to put the mesh on the on side of the property, so I'm gonna see all the metal steel bars. When you put a fence, the right face of the fence is supposed to facing, because I see the way it coming and look like the mesh is gonna be on their side, not on my side.
He doesn't want to look at the backside.
Exactly. I don't want to see pole, metal, shingles, screws.
But the fence ordinance requires the good side out. Now, that may not. Yeah, do you plan on, he doesn't want to look at the back of mesh, obviously. I mean, like the connecting wires.
Yes, and especially it's not 10 feet. I had 360 feet
We heard it a lot of times.
by 12
I'm
high.
losing my patience.
Poker face rabbi.
We'll comply with what the code requires.
We're going to put,
Thank you.
okay. I hope that means you were going to put it.
Whatever the code requires.
I'm not getting the warm fuzzy feeling about that. Okay, so, anything else, Mr. Benesso?
No, that's our presentation.
Okay, are there any other questions from the board? If not, may I have a motion, including a CEQA motion?
I make a motion on index number 490-25 Inwood Yeshiva Katina of Long Island. I move that we adopt a negative declaration as to the CEQA determination based on the testimony given, exhibits in the file, and other materials we have reviewed and analyzed.
Second? All in favor?
On the case number 490 of 25 Inwood Yeshiva Katina of Long Island, install 8-foot and 12-foot high fences in Resident B district, install 8-foot and 12-foot fences in business district portion, which is forward of adjacent building on both sides, and maintain 8-foot high fences in a business district, a portion of which is forward of the adjacent buildings on both sides of a larger lot, be granted as requested from the bench.
For 5 years?
5 years.
Second? All in favor? Aye. With the conditions.
Thank you. I want to thank the
All right.
board.
Well,
Looking
we
forward to
recognize the
working with
safety
you.
issues, so
Thank you.
have a nice day.
Thank you all.
Mr. Benesso, you got a second?
Next, we'll be calling cases 31825 through 31925 Elmont Market Span Gas Corporation doing business as National Grid. Remove, replace 8-foot high fence in conjunction with public utility. Install 10-foot high fence in conjunction with public utility, also known as 36 Marguerite Avenue. We'll also be calling case 39325 Elmont Market Span Gas Corporation doing business as National Grid. Special exception to construct natural gas system in conjunction with public utility, also known as 36 Marguerite Avenue. Please raise your right hand. You swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Yes. Please take a seat and state your name and address for the record.
Good afternoon, board members. My name is Pano Sorlis. I'm an engineer for National Grid. I'm here with my colleague Joe Caniano, also an engineer at National Grid, an engineer of record for the project, 25 Hub Drive, Melville, New York. We ask that the two cases in front of you concerning this one property be heard as one.
So moved.
We're here to follow up on this case. Partial testimony was given in July regarding the use of the property, and an additional case for new fencings was then identified at the previous meeting. I'm going to start with a very brief refresher about what we spoke about last time and the use of the property. The property is currently being used as a natural gas metering and regulation station. It operates on the site currently underground through our natural gas piping utility network. The gas is taken in at a higher pressure and reduced to a lower pressure that the community and the town of Hempstead residents can then use. We have facilities like this all over our service territories. You probably don't even know that they're there. They're generic in nature, and they're critical in supplying our region with reliable natural gas. This is a particularly critical station. It's a custody transfer point between New York City and Long Island. So we can give New York City gas, and New York City can give Long Island gas as operational needs, and it's only one of two places that occurs.
Excuse me. Can you remind me why we took partial testimony and adjourned it? I should remember, but I don't.
So the plans weren't rejected for the two fences that are above 6 feet, just for the use.
Okay.
So that we've subsequently gotten the rejections for the fencing.
Okay, keep going.
So the station serves parts of the communities of Belrose, Floral Park, Stewart Manor, New High Park, Glen Oaks, and as well as Elmont. The station is not manned. We're not planning on changing that. Our crews visit the site once a month to test and ensure all the equipment is working properly just for a few hours, and then they leave the site. The site was built in 1965 after they did receive a zoning board resolution allowing them to do so. But since then, obviously, town population has grown substantially, and as has the demand for natural gas, as well as our forecasted demand. So we're looking to upgrade the station. So we're looking to upgrade what is there, rebuild new below ground infrastructure with plans to increase the size of the pipes of the facility, and while increase reliability to meet future demand, as well as while we're there, improve the aesthetics of the property. When we increase flows through the station, as well as changes in industry standards since the station was built in 1965, it necessitates the addition of a piece of equipment we refer to as a heater. It's a boiler, just like you have in your house, and it warms the gas because we're taking from a higher pressure to a lower pressure, and that leads to the gas being colder. Cold gas can have a negative effect on our end customers' equipment, both at their meter as well as their appliances. So that is what necessitates us to have to heat it. This is not something that we're looking to do just here in the town of Hempstead and Elmont. We've got other projects going on, town of Brookhaven, town of Riverhead, as well as all throughout New York City. Just going to highlight briefly, this work is, the gas work is all done under the purview of the New York State Public Service Commission, Part 255 of the New York State Code, their codes and standards and safety, as well as the federal level. That's what we abide by here. And we're looking we just need the building permit to actually construct on the land as well as put up the fences.
Can I ask you, so when your employees or your engineers, whoever, start to do this work, does the state actually, because I mean, for all of us who aren't in your business, it's scary. So I think, so does the state actually have someone knowledgeable on site as they go through the process of putting in pieces, or they just inspect it afterward? Or?
So we have our own construction manager on site, as well as the state then comes when we test the station to ensure that everything is working properly.
So they're not actually on site when weld that piece to that piece to underground and stuff like that.
So they're not contracted to be on site all the time, but they're notified when the project starts.
Correct. And in part of the construction, it's also documented for construction quality assurance. So
that's what I'm getting at.
Right. So all the construction records are then turned over to the public or made available to them for inspection if they request.
Do they have to inspect them before you turn the switch? Just out of curiosity.
Yes,
everything's
they have, before the station becomes quote unquote commissioned, there is a test of the system in which the Public Service Commission verifies that it's working properly. And then we have a system called traceable, verifiable, complete, in which we hand over the records, as Joe alluded to the Public Service Commission. They can verify the material, the welds, and everything that we did in the field is to their standards.
Okay, seems very important. Okay.
So as I mentioned, in addition to the gas utility work, we want to take this opportunity to beautify that property, be a good neighbor. We're not planning on adding any site lighting. There's an existing 8-foot fence. We want to replace that chain link barbed wire fence with a new aesthetic green security fence, get rid of the
Little green chain link with fuzzy stuff on it.
well,
This is architectural.
yeah, this is more of an architectural. We have pictures if you want. I can submit them.
I'll bring it up.
We'll accept those into evidence. I'd like to have the pictures because then if they put something else.
That's just a mock-up of what we're doing. It's going to be that green. It's see-through, so it won't impact sight lines when you're coming in or out of the property.
It's less industrial looking. It looks more residential.
And then an additional 10-foot high fence with barriers to block the view of the heater that's going to be in the middle of the site. And we're also proposing privacy landscaping.
I just have a question. Are you doing that to all of your facilities?
So not all of our facilities are on private property. When we do have them, yes, we aim to conceal what is there.
Is that like another version of barbed wire on the top?
There shouldn't be. It should just be
It's not barbed wire, but it is a security type fence.
Yeah.
Do you have another
Some-
copy of that?
It's industrial to me, but so when you say there's another barricade fence inside, that's not out by the perimeter. You mean it's way inside, right?
Way inside. Yes, correct. Well within the. It's one of the other ones.
Oh, I see. From a distance, it does look less. The
So-
close-up one looks more industrial, but when you put it at a distance,
It's called clear view. So from a distance, it's supposed to act like as if there's nothing there.
It almost looks like an estate fence. Here.
Yeah.
So from close-up, but look at from distance, it looks like the estate fencing.
So yeah, what Joe is showing there on the poster, we also have we can submit a copy of that. So the fencing and the equipment that's going to be above ground, which is strictly just that heater unit, is all within the
Except that in
the setbacks.
full market.
And that's really just to conceal the heater body from sight. So it's going to also be painted green. It'll have those privacy slots in it as well. In addition to that, we're also, as you can see in the plans, we're proposing, privacy landscaping, Leland cypress, evergreen trees to conceal.
Great.
This is 8 feet tall?
That's just a mock-up.
No, but it's going to be.
It's going to be 8 feet tall on the perimeter, correct? And that's what is there currently, an 8-foot high fence.
Okay. Is that your case?
That's our case.
You guys have any further questions?
Nope. No question.
Okay, are there any other questions from the board? If not, do I have a motion?
No? Oh.
I make,
Go ahead.
Add a place on the decision calendar. All who signed in will be notified by mail of the board's decision once rendered.
Second? Second? All in favor?
Aye.
All right,
Thank you.
gentlemen, have a nice day. You can have to watch.
No.
Okay. I've never seen anything like it.
That was actually, so this site, so we have a section right here, that's actually part of it's owned by PSE&G, right? And then another section of that's kind of like this section here, if you go to.
They said this is national.
So is that the Rockville site?
Yeah.
So that site we just finished construction on, and they haven't done the privacy landscaping along with anything yet. So we have that we're proposing like evergreen privacy landscape. That was my project too, sorry. So.
I think that gas stuff's
We're
interesting.
proposing
I don't know why.
privacy landscaping along the whole perimeter
Oh,
of that property. So it's
That's what I'm like.
So the only difference that I want to just make note of is you saw like above ground piping there. Oh, okay.
A month later, when it works its way through the bureaucracy, so like, oh yeah, they didn't get that well.
Yeah, yeah.
I know, but it seems like the double and triple checks after they turn out the paperwork.
You gotta make sure that the system
No.
is not leaking.
I know, but listen, they build it, they, document it all, they turn it in, they get it moving, and later the state checks it out.
Like on Google Earth, you can go back a little bit and see that we had.
Okay, so, that's that. That paper you gave me about the property, it was here, right? I was looking for it earlier. No, you gave it to me out here. I think you gave it to me right there, okay. All right, then I must have left it there. That's okay, Patrick.
We're gonna go back there.
I just don't love, like, you guys weld it all up, keep all the documents, get it cranked up, and then you hand the bureaucrats oh shit, he didn't get that weld right. That's why
It's a very scrutinized process. So I can't place it on
You mean you're talking about? No. Where does it go? I know they would. And where does it?
somewhere. It's like way outside.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. If she had to go.
Hey, Becky, I got your stamp.
No, I'm missing the one that was 3.
All right, first case, 48225 of 2025. The case is, needs sequel to case is 7 Ronkonkoma Avenue, West Hempstead. It is a partner case, 48325. Both the needs, oh wait, I misspoke, wasn't, I'm correct. Any discussion about these cases? We do have the owner occupied condition if we approve it. The apple tree has already been removed. So any discussion about the first subdivision, 2 subdivision cases?
I mean, I went to look at it and, oh, sorry, put me on. I went to inspect, and I took pictures of the property, and when I could show you guys this, the grass is clean, I don't see, like, I see a couple of chairs but it looks neat. nobody was sitting there. But they did say, wasn't it gonna be owner occupied though?
Yes,
Yeah.
both of them, I believe.
And they
Yeah.
did make the representation that on the maintain, I believe on
The construct.
there would be no exterior cellar entrance and only
Yes.
a half bath in the basement.
Right.
And I think there's something to be said about the fact that it was already approved.
Yes, in
And
2009.
I'm not sure how legitimate a basis we would have for denying it at this stage, given that, and given that when these things get old and we then reanalyze them like sort of de novo, it's usually if there's been a significant change in the community or if the application is significantly changed, because it was already determined by the board that the community and the application were worthy of approval. So I heard nothing about the community or the neighborhood changing in any way, other than a few things to the detriment with some people.
Would you like me to make a motion?
Go ahead, but I just wanted to make the record.
I got you. But would you like me to make, are we in an agreement?
Hold
That's
on.
what I mean.
But we saw the Google Earth, which is a snapshot. Miss Perry was there yesterday. It looks similarly. And since you mentioned that, Mark, I should note that the complainant's house was 10 feet from the property line. The proposed house is also 10 feet from the property line. So it is consistent with the community. So yes, Mr. Plumer, if you'd like to, but you need CEQA too.
Yes. On cases 482 at 25 West Hempstead and 483, 25 of West Hempstead, I move that we adopt a negative declaration as to the CEQA determination based on the testimony given, exhibits in the file, and other materials we have reviewed and analyzed.
Second?
I second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
On 482 of 25, 483 of 25 in West Hempstead, on the variances for subdivision, I make a motion that they be granted with owner-occupied conditions.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Also based on the fact that that this was granted in 2009 already, the subdivision.
And eliminate the basement entrance.
And also they would eliminate the basement entrance and agree to a half bath in the basement instead of a full bathroom.
And also agreed to the condition that the properties be owner occupied.
Yes.
And I agree, and that they're owner occupied.
Well, he did say that he would put all new fencing around the whole property.
Wrong case. Okay, next case.
Wait,
For,
we didn't, we have to, did we vote?
I called it.
Oh, second. All in favor?
Aye. Okay, so cases 484 of 2025 and 485 of 2025, also subdivisions. This is the property located at 800 Nostrand Avenue in Uniondale. One is the case of Simon Romero. One is the case of Vertiland Incorporated. Do I have any discussion? If not, a motion including CEQA.
I make a motion for 484, 485. Sorry about that.
Okay.
And I move that we adopt a negative declaration as to the CEQA determination based on the testimony given, exhibits in the file, and other materials we have reviewed and analyzed.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Now, that's the neg deck as to the
Okay.
cases.
And I move cases 484, 485 with regard to the conditions that were agreed upon, subdivisions.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Let's see what we have. The third set of subdivision is case 486 and 487 of 2025. These are in Roosevelt. The property is located at 76 Henry Street. The applicants are Erica James, LLC, and Verde Land Homes. Do we have a discussion or motions sequence needed?
Yes, I know. On cases 486 and 487 approved results, Verde Land Homes and Erica James, I move that we adopt negative declaration as to the secret determination based on the testimony given, exhibits in the file, and other materials reviewed.
Second, all in favor?
Aye. For the case 486 to 487 of 25 Roosevelt, located at 80 Henry Street and 76 Henry Street, I approve, as the case was also previously approved in 2007 with normal subdivision conditions.
Second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Caruso.
What generally happens when it comes to illegal occupancy, the building inspector needs to see it firsthand or get an affidavit from somebody who's lived there, or generally it's just like a tenant. So if the building department comes knocking, she was not incorrect in saying that they don't let people in. Because they don't. Correct.
Could be ice.
So, so it's not that easy. They have to actually view the violation.
Let's see, so 488 of 2025 and 489 of 2025, set number 4 of the subdivisions. This is Joseph Giacaruso. The property is located at 225 Brookside Avenue in Wantagh. Discussion motion, need sequa.
You're up.
Thank you.
Need sequa, Joe.
I move that the determination of secret should be a negative declaration based upon the testimony and information
Second.
furnished to the board.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Keep going, Joe.
I move that case 488 and 489, that the subdivision be granted as to the front width on the street line, and that
You got the stuff like that basement entrances
approve with
and
the
stuff.
normal conditions that we
Remove them.
impose on the new construction and subdivision. Owner occupied, I believe they offered.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
I wrote remove basement entrance. I think they're removing it on.
It says no basement.
What the conditions that we have that are customary, it's no exterior cellar entrance.
Okay, so I wrote remove, I must have been from the plans. So we didn't ask them to submit new plans.
We didn't, but that's, the decision will reflect no exterior cellar entrance, so.
Which
Okay.
one was the 50/50?
That's-
Mark? What?
That was O'Brien's, that was back here.
That was the one that,
That was
No.
84 and 85.
Yeah, 84.
50/50 was the.
40, no, that wasn't it.
Yes,
It was.
It was 484.
I even wrote 50/50 question mark.
Wait a minute.
I thought you were gonna say something, but.
I got lost.
But now I'm found.
Who
He
made that
died, of
motion?
course.
Mr. DeGrace?
Mr. Gray?
What are you gonna do about that? If there's a board member who would, it's certainly the one. Look, Joe, I wrote the notes. Look, it's right now 58 and whatever, 43. I wrote 50/50 question mark. I wrote O'Brien. Okay, so we're gonna recall cases 484 and 485 of 2025. The property is 800 Nostrand Avenue in Uniondale. It's the case 85 is Simon Romero. 84 is Verde Land Homes, Inc. We'll recall the case. We'll withdraw the motion, and we'll hear from Mr. Pellegrini.
Thank you.
I make a motion to withdraw for 85.
Second.
Second. Okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
I'm grabbing water. Keep going.
I think this case, and Mr. Puma would also agree that it should be a 50/50 subdivision, 50-foot, 50-foot, each parcel.
I agree because sets a bad precedent in the
Yes,
area.
and it certainly can be done. He would have to do whatever, move the house, make the house smaller. It might need a,
It will likely trigger the front yard setback.
That's what I was just gonna say,
Which-
and it's a corner, so we have to think about that.
No,
He
they
said-
just have to come back in with whatever.
He said that this is
No.
a smaller house than he usually makes, which made me think it was even easier to
Too
do
big.
this. But.
I consulted with Becky, and Becky is very confident that we could impose that as a condition and grant that front yard setback of 6.7 feet, whatever it is.
But we
Whoa,
don't, we
wait.
don't have the ability to waive town board fees, so we have to collect an additional fee.
Okay?
Hold on
And
a
they're gonna
second.
revise plans,
No,
have.
no,
them
no,
review
but
and
Mr.
build-
Okay.
Mr. O'Brien said to let him know.
Correct, and they'll revise
Okay.
their
And he'll
plans.
revise the plan.
Okay, so we're gonna put that on reserve,
Okay.
but listen,
Yes,
I don't know where the 6-foot front yard thing came, but but
the setback.
that's a corner, so we do need to be careful about how far we push that house into the
Well,
corner.
that's what Becky said. Becky said it was fine.
If they make it to 57.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm not saying that's not the case, but I just wanna make sure, I'd rather grant them rear yard or side yard variances if the house is pushing too far into the corner for the visibility issues, so, okay, so you'll take to Mr. O'Brien.
Can we go?
Yeah,
Peter?
sure.
Okay, thanks a lot. We gotta go.
Okay.
We gotta meet Bruce.
peace
We
brother.
don't have any.
He's gonna kill me.
I'll give you a note.
Okay, put this on reserve.
Yeah, this is on reserve. We'll ask
Contact staff and let him know.
Bye, everybody. Have a nice week and weekend, okay? He's on the chauffeur.
Oh, wait a second, I'm going to.
I'm the chauffeur.
Oh, wait, John, I'll
Go
take
is
you
this?
home.
I
John,
treasure
I'll
it.
take you home.
Huh?
I'll take you home.
You take me home?
Yeah, I mean, if you don't wanna go with him.
to go. Thank you,
I
thank
go
you.
that direction, south.
Thank you.
All right, let's.
No, we got 490.
Okay.
You did what I needed.
Yeah. Oh, you did 490? Oh, yeah. Joe asked me about that for the safety issues because of the Jewish community. So I said if Mark wants to do that, that's fine. All right. Yeah, just, there are some.
Okay.
Okay, 318 of 2025, 319 of 2025, and 393 of 2025. All of them relate to the property at 36 Marguerite Avenue in Elmont. It's the Market Span Gas Corporation doing business as National Grid. Any discussion? If not, motion.
They agreed to conditions, landscaping, et cetera. So,
Do we have those written somewhere?
Well, they've done that to all the properties.
Wait, what is
you
this
could
thing
just
about conditions?
Provide landscaping. They testified to
Well,
that.
what, I'm sorry, what now?
Sorry.
Let's do it. Yeah, just,
Well, I don't know what you guys are talking about.
oh, so, so let's make a neg deck, and if we don't need it, fabulous, but let's have it and not need it. Yeah. Then need it and not have it. Fuck it, right?
All right.
All right, Joe, you're on.
With respect to cases 318 of 2025 and 319 of 2025 and 393 of 2025, I move that we adopt a negative declaration as to the CEQA determination based on the testimony given, exhibits in the file, and other materials we reviewed and analyzed.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. Now, also with respect to cases 318 of 2025, 319 of 2025, and 393 of 2025, location of property is 36 Marguerite Avenue in Elmont. I move that the motion be not denied.
The fence is temporary.
The
with
fence,
conditions?
right, the fence is temporary
With conditions?
with conditions.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And the other one granted as requested?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And the other thing is, right, because they seem to go and do things at these places all the time. And when they do, they take down everything, all right? And then they come in because I asked them about another case and that's their situation.
So just for the record, case 395 of 2025, which is Stephen Friedman affecting property at 739 Dumont Place in Near Valley Stream, has been adjourned to November 12th at 2 o'clock. Okay, so we have a few more things to do, right?
Well, we really didn't have any negative.
You had to do that.
The gas is coming in from New Jersey, I mean the ocean, and we just, some gas is coming in from PA.
Yeah.
What, wait, what did we do when we were doing the reserve? Why did we not do?
Everything was on hold.
Okay, that's right. Hey, Patrick, if I wanted to know what is legal at that place, how?
He's on the zoning board.
Okay, we had a few administrative things to circle back to.
Yes.
Okay, so first I will go back to, I'll go back to the one that, the rehearing request that we initially presented. I did pull the sign-in sheets. There were 5 of them. This is the one that was in on Peninsula Boulevard in Cedarhurst. Okay, so there was a rehearing request basically what happened. They didn't file a timely extension, so they're SLA.
So it's something you already granted?
It's something we already granted, correct. And I did, at your request, I told them to check with me. There were 2 in favor, 5 opposed, 3 in favor, 3 in favor, the correct attorney, the architect, no. Oh, okay, so,
I wasn't clever enough.
so that was, you know, so there was a bit of opposition. We only do is 10%. So I think the cleanest way, again, the board is inclined to regrant this application for the rest of the day. The what? So this is where we have requested. And again, had they made an application for an extension time less than a month ago, it was probably. So my suggestion, I think the cleanest way to do it is to do a sui sponte reopening and you re-adopt.
I'm okay in a situation like this.
Yeah.
It's not that late.
I thought this was first round. I know that case was round. No, because, not because I care, it's how I remember the case.
Sure. Yep.
And I think this was the one that they came in once, they reworked it because they wanted parking on the.
I don't remember that, yeah. I don't know.
So I move that we,
It's in Woodham.
That
It's
we-
in Cedarhurst. It's on Peninsula Boulevard. It's, the address is 560 to 570
I know that
Peninsula
case.
Boulevard in Cedarhurst.
Do we have a motion?
I move that we reopen this case for the purpose of considering an extension of time.
What?
And
Second case, granted, not granted, for the reopen. And then we'll grant the extension, no?
No, we don't want to grant an extension, we want to re-grant the relief.
My suggestion was that you reopen and then it's basically this language, reopen and you re-adopt the decision dated 12/6. Yeah, this is, sure, we can do this. And then, 7/34. So, look how perfect this is. My sample that we did. So just
I move that the Board of Appeals sua sponte reopens and readopts the decision dated 12/6/23, and it's therefore resolved that the application appeal remains dismissed.
Yeah,
Remove.
basically,
Re-
right,
re-
we're reopening and readopting the decision dated 12/6/23. Beautiful.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Perfect. I didn't finish.
That's okay, and you know.
Just
Reopen, readopt,
Chinese
great.
food is accepting checks.
Yeah, I don't want to do that. We don't need the extra work.
JPJA. So we got that one. I have another one.
How about you choose?
Okay. So, I believe the board will remember that a little while back, there was an application presented by Lou Schaefer with respect to one of the Hoffman houses. And there was we made the decision on it last week, or last hearing, I should say. That was the word exactly right now. I can see you were partying out in the yard. Correct, but there was representation made at the hearing that it was going to be owner occupied. Well, right after the decision, we get a phone call from the applicant saying, whoa, no, this is an investment property. That representation never should have been made, blah, 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 blah. So they're asking for a rehearing in this case to reconsider. Okay. They're asking for a rehearing of this matter. Basically, well, I typically think it should be a reopening, but to correct testimony and to provide testimony as to exactly how they use it. The fact that it's going to be a rental, they're going to go through the entire, legalization of having a rental property, go through obtaining a rental permit. This way, there's going to be some checks and balances on it. But that is why they're requesting a rehearing / or community. And there was opposition. I believe they will, and I think that they should. There was opposition.
What time? What time?
It was in Uniondale. It's one of the Hofstra houses. And again, the architect should not make that representation. Oh, he's not. Yeah, but this was my favorite. The guy was sitting in the back room, he didn't want to infect it, but he was apparently nervous and didn't know he could actually do that. Or, Anyway, so that is the request for the rehearing / reopening. I don't think it's.
Anyone want to make a motion to reopen it?
It's from Greg Kalinowski, who's from Vercelli Deed in Toronto.
Oh, so we turned it over to the attorney.
Correct. So now the case should, in theory, be presented.
Yeah.
Yes.
Someone want to make a motion?
Do you want to mark down for rehearing? It goes for a rehearing, it's got to go through the lineup again. But I do think that if we do have a reopening, it has to be renoticed. Yes. This one needs to be renoticed.
Based on the letter that we received regarding case 392 of 2025, the applicant is John co-packs. We are going to, they are requesting a reopening, and they also have to notice the case.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
This one?
I heard that. I was gonna say, that's progress.
He's got a full-time job as a counselor. No, no, but I'm telling you, he's got a whole time.
And I accidentally printed it out on leather paper. But they basically, the representation is made that the plans are that the owner of the corporation is going to live in this property and then give the other property, the owner of the property across the street, are gonna give it to their children. That was, so to me, that sounds like. No, we did not point to findings about that. But again, a representation is made.
And then that's another letter, exactly. It is true that people down there, you use your house in the summer, but anyway, the other night, one person again.
they're getting rid of the curb cut. They changed the gate in the back. Okay, so, as I had mentioned earlier today, the attorney, Mr. McKevitt, he brought in some documentation. It's an amended site plan, which I did confirm with the building department, does not trigger or enlarge any variances. Why would it? They're decreasing the size of the fence, the height. So, now I did go through our records during our break, and I did check out the property at 85 Pinehurst Street. And the only records of variances I found in our files were under the Posner name, but they were from 1972 and 1977, not pertaining to a fence.
So they don't have a legal fence?
They do, but it was granted by, it was given to them by the building department as of right. So I don't know
Where's
if laws
that
have
record?
changed. Pardon?
Oh, you're saying the only thing in our record for variances was here?
Correct. Those were the two. Those
Just
were the two
wait.
that I found for the closed case.
There's more.
Now, that goes into.
Can we have
No,
Becky
not
look
for
at
you.
the
You've been
picture
through
of
it.
where that fence that was granted was?
If I make it that far, we'll see.
Because I know they changed that fence.
They might have, but again, the records that we have here from 1997 indicate that it was as of right.
Does it show where it is though? My issue is that corner is deadly. And if they don't have that fence legally on that corner, it needs to be catty corner.
Yeah, this just says.
Well, there's a
with
retaining
fence
wall, and then they
enclosure.
put a fence.
But even if we
No, I know.
catty corner the fence, because it is,
but that's-
literally, I pull up to that intersection about 5 times a day, and kids and bikes, skateboards, people with dogs, they fly right out. And I stop because I know it, but that's when that intersection, guess what? There's no cars going through because it's dead over here, dead here. It's literally this, so people aren't as inclined to feel the danger to go around that corner.
But again, that's just precedent. That's not the case in front of us.
I
That was,
understand.
yeah,
but
that
Can
was
we have
just
Becky check where that fence was
I'll have her take a
granted
look.
by,
by
just
the building
because
department. I'll see if they. if they have a
I
plan on
talk
file.
about this fence all the time and I would love to be able to catty corner.
But yes, so the fence in hand. In
Right.
question. So
I'm gonna do
again.
that with you.
Sure, thank you. So, again, the modifications to the plans, they're removing that curb cut at Harrogate Street, which again, I do believe could be made into a condition. They did change that gate from 4 feet, from 8 feet to 4 feet.
Car to people, yeah.
Correct, so a vehicle cannot fit through, and they are
Mini
in line
Cooper.
with the, according to the attorney, he's stating that in line with the prior case that was granted.
By the way, what the whole
2001?
neighborhood keeps asking is how they have a 4-story house.
Reduce this height from 6 feet to 5 feet. That section of fencing is indicated on the plans.
Yeah, so I'm fine with that. Okay. Can you just?
Lito.
Oh, I can't make it, so.
Kim got it.
Make sure you stay with the condition. But
I make a motion on case 387 to 388 of 25. In Lido Beach, located at 25 Harrogate Street, that the pergola remain open and the pool enclosure in accordance with the plans of August 25th, 2025, be approved temporary with conditions, including the curb cut on Harrogate be removed.
second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Was that you?
Yeah. I was just trying it because people do that.
That's pretty good.
I just didn't know how it worked, so I just thought I'd try. Because you know, you have people with music, they go.
Make a motion to close the hearing.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.